What is going on, everybody? It is episode 282 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name's Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. I am happy to be here after the weekend. Unfortunately, I wasn't in DC. Today, in the studio, we are on one.
Say it again?
Firstly, F it. We're on one.
Yes.
I kept it PG.
Yeah.
Firstly, we've got main guest host, Dane. Hello.
Yeah.
No. Nobody's gonna the number one rule to this type of media is don't introduce your inside jokes to like a place where they're not inside. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. Hi guys, Dane Fawn here, marketing man extraordinaire, blah blah blah.
Well, wow, that was enthusiastic.
Yeah,
blah blah.
I mean,
he hit him with
you
the blah,
guys
blah, blah.
already know, though.
Yeah,
He's so iconic that you already know who he is. He doesn't
Legend.
need an introduction. And we've got a second guest in the studio today, Cass Castle extraordinaire.
Oh, you scared the crap out of me.
Yes.
Did I?
No.
How you doing?
I am well.
For a Monday, like were you busy all day?
Sort of just polishing off the next episode and trying to get it done.
You joined us for our review of The Last of Us, of
I
the
did.
original
I
of the
did.
pilot episode, right?
Yes, I mean, I don't know about that. Yeah.
It's already up.
Read it.
It's already
Oh,
up for people to
Okay.
watch. So, guys, before we get started,
Then
after this episode, when we are all said and done, go over to the YouTube page and find our review for The Last of Us episode 1. Me, Mary, Wesley had a lot to say on it. It's no Velma, but you'll have to go watch the review to find out, right?
And Dane was also sitting at the table with a teleprompter telling us all what to say.
Yeah, that's exactly what
He
it
was really controlling the narrative.
Dude, I was watching some, who was it? Like somebody showing like a reporter's video. Like there's a bunch of like very interesting, like there's a weird cross section between like female reporters and like TikTok and Reels and stuff like that.
Ivory Hacker?
Yeah, well, no. I'm talking about like ones who actually work for like networks and stuff like that. And they're like really good social media influencers that don't really do much for like the actual news station, but they build these strong followings because they're on the news, but they're also usually beautiful women. And I was looking at them like they were talking about, like they were showing the screen where they read the teleprompter. I'm like, I don't think I could do that. I think it would be worse for me, like given that I'm just a horrible reader. Like I wouldn't be able to do actually just read what I'm supposed to say on the prompter.
Does it go too fast?
It's just like, well, for me, it's also like it would have to be like blown up to like a text file size of like 8,000. Like the font would have to be enormous because I'm basically blind. So
This is all your elaborate denial that we do this show without a teleprompter, which is false.
And there's also cues like say it with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It'd be hard not to say.
Like I'm always enthusiastic.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Brett Enthusiasm Dasovic
Yes,
is what we call him.
That's my middle name, guys. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. Velma 2 Electric Boogaloo. It's going to happen, guys. Our hate watching made it possible. Are we the baddies? Yes, we probably are the baddies in this respect. But you get what you paid for. And in this context, what else was there to do but for a bunch of people to watch a show as bad as Velma? So the prize for our bad behavior may be that we get a whole second season of this garbage. We will get into that and the fact that Velma has united the entire internet around hating it. We will talk about that. We're going to talk about this absolutely insane story about somebody who's a Harry Potter crack addict that just loves Harry Potter so much but hates J.K. Rowling so much that he rebound J.K. Rowling books to remove the name and copyright so that J.K. Rowling wouldn't get any credit for the books when they resell them, which seems illegal to me. But we'll get into that as well. We're also going to talk about Latin. Is that what the
Latin?
I've never seen this
Latin?
word in use before, but I found out over the weekend that journalists think there aren't enough Black and Latin writers on Wednesday.
What's
so
a
they
Latin?
want Wednesday to correct that.
Is that a biscotti made in Colombia?
I thought it said latrine at first, which is not the same thing. It's
Yeah.
the very bad, guys.
Dane was
So-
like, "Is that Ovaltine
Yeah.
for Latinx people?"
Is it a incognito replacement of Latinx?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Since
is it-
Latinx
we
failed.
never did that. We never said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Latinx
Gaslight.
is like it's actually really interesting because that's one where like there's like a guy who does a comedy Instagram channel and like most of it is dedicated to hating that term and the comments on it are kind of bonkers. So we will get into that. We're going to talk about all of this stuff. We're also going to talk about we didn't even get into what that's going to be about. So yeah, Wednesday Addams, right? Did you mention that's about Wednesday? Okay, yeah. We're also going to talk about Kanye West. He's apparently married but not married. That's a real thing, apparently. We will talk about that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are ready, we will get right into it. Mary, are we ready?
We're ready.
Wesley, are we ready?
Oh, ready.
Dane.
I feel like I will be once we start.
Well, once we start cringe, am I right, Mary?
Yes.
Go,
We're going to the cringe of the day. I've been picking these out throughout the week, last week. This one I almost thought was going to be like too spicy, so we had to replace it with another one.
Here we go. So just hit play. We're good to go. I save it. I don't watch it beforehand, so this is my first viewing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Same.
Here we go.
What the hell?
We're demonetized.
Baby, you okay? Come on. Baby, you alright? That's somebody's fucking kid! Call the cops. Call the fucking cops. 911.
Is there any context?
Are we going
No.
for a record?
No,
Is there
no
a-
context. Just play it.
Go and kill the bus. Good as a gun down.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Okay, well,
man.
that was a twist.
Oh, I did. Mary, come on, dude.
Plot twist of the century.
What a twist.
Did it get you?
It got me. I didn't think
You got
I didn't think it actually looked like a kid, anyways. But that was because you couldn't see it like from the.
Well, he was
shoulders up
just
at
like
first, yeah.
desperately trying not to get up off the ground because he might find out.
All right. So now that we've officially cringed, it was that or was the Miss Universe thing? Those were both would have been
Weeman?
Weeman.
Congratulations to Weeman for running Miss Universe, apparently.
Somebody in the chat says this is years old.
Oh,
I
well.
didn't know that. I just saw it for the first time.
All
the other day.
right. The beauty of the internet. It's evergreen. All right. So guys, Velma is not only so bad that it united the entire internet. Velma has actually been proven to be so bad that it's spawning conspiracy theories from both sides of the aisle. This one right here, this is from Forbes, from Paul Tassi. It says, Velma is so bad it spawned PSYOP conspiracy theories. The idea here is that it was created by Mindy Kaling to instigate right-wing commentators to like boost its SEO, its search engine optimization.
Wow, look at you.
Which is like completely plausible. It's just really, really ghoulish and stupid.
Wait. Okay, does this mean that she is using the bad press to benefit herself?
The show,
or,
I guess.
Or is she using the show to benefit people on YouTube like us?
Well,
and she's actually on our side. It's
that would be
controlled opposition.
That would be the funnier one, that she's actually like her favorite channels are like a bunch of like right-wing YouTubers and she can't tell anyone in Hollywood. Like I'm picturing her.
She was
She's
just in the news for saying that she doesn't like
Well,
cancel culture,
this is
right?
what
Well,
this
she said you
tweet
couldn't
says.
you couldn't make
Mindy
The Office.
Kaling
Right,
is
but
both
she
a
didn't like it.
transphobe and said that you couldn't make The Office today because of cancel culture. She is a fellow reactionary. She deliberately made Velma suck so that culture war YouTubers can make a million videos about it to boost its SEO.
Somebody needs to make like a Photoshop of like the quartering and her like behind in an alley shaking hands, like in like a dark alley, or like any of the right-wing YouTubers, like her and like culture war YouTubers, like she's like secretly handing them like this is what we're gonna do, so you guys are gonna have all this stuff to talk about.
She sold her soul to the anti-woke
Yes.
YouTube sphere.
Dude, she united the entire internet. My favorite meme was it was this one right here. It says,
Oh.
yes, that is exactly what happened. Maybe,
So I want to slightly break down the mechanics of SEO quickly, just so we can understand this claim. So she's saying that she made it so bad so that people make content which will lead to redirects, which in turn creates SEO.
yeah, that people would talk about it that much, therefore it boosts the visibility of the show.
Okay, so here's the thing. So it's the amount of redirects using the key terms Velma and whatever. That's what eventually boosts the SEO.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if you do a good job and people are posting positive things about you at an equal rate, that would also boost your SEO.
Yeah, but that's much harder to do.
I've
Like,
only seen
I
that happen
guess.
for Wednesday.
Yeah.
In the past year, I think.
That's very hard to do. Actually, I would say like shows like Reacher got far more press than it normally would because of how much people actually like the show. But that's because right-wing people like the show.
What's funny to me about this is that even the SJWs got mad at Mindy Kaling.
They hate it too.
Firstly, they were pointing out that in well, one tweet said Mindy Kaling is so sick, and then they added all of these images from Sex Lives of College Girls where these non-white female characters have romantic subplots with only white men.
Yeah.
Like they only have white love interests
ever
in shows that Mindy Kaling makes. And does that have something to do with like the way that Norville was treated in Velma? Like, I have no idea. Or the way that Velma regards Fred in the show. It's very weird. It's very psychologically.
She was attracted to Fred. Like, I got that impression that like when she fell down the stairs at the police station, she looked at Fred with kind of dreamy eyes, and he was of course.
They also got mad because she is trivializing police brutality.
Yeah, so that's what I said. When we did the initial review, I got messages from people on both sides of the aisle. All the right wing people just thought it was awfully written, and then I got some friends of mine that are like leftists that are like, it was trivializing police brutality from them pulling the gun on her in the police station.
Someone said, bro, no way the new Velma show has an interracial lesbian couple who are both cops that shoot an unarmed teen in the first episode for laughs. LMAO, who is this for?
It's not for anyone.
I'm asking the same thing because like all of the SJWs that this would supposedly be targeted for dislike it for their own reasons. There's another joke that Velma makes about how comedians can't tell jokes anymore ever since #MeToo.
I spit truth without a filter.
Someone said like this goes against everything I previously understood about Velma. Like, I don't know if I like her anymore just because she would say something like this.
That's such a funny phrase that comedians can't be edgy anymore, and then she just says the most accepted possible view.
Yeah. Well,
ever. It's like, white guys, am I right? Like,
but she's not like this thing. She makes jokes about everyone. It's just all the jokes are bad. Like, the smart people aren't saying that you're being a leftist or right wing. They're saying you're just horrible at humor. You just don't know how to tell jokes, and you're full of spite, anger, and vitriol.
Which is weird because she has the type of career in Hollywood that a lot of people are envious of, that they would kill to have.
Thank you.
And she's been kind of unfairly boosted up to that point, but she just can't help but reveal how jealous she is of people with immutable traits she doesn't have, and she uses this like big budget vanity project to express her anger at them.
Yeah, this article. It says the internet turns against Mindy Kaling over a bad Me Too joke. No, one sector of the internet turned against Mindy Kaling, the side that normally would have supported her through all of the horrible humor. And that's the thing. It's got nothing to. I'm not offended by the Me Too joke. I'm not offended by the jokes about Fred. I'm not offended by the police brutality jokes. I'm offended by how badly it was done and how you can tell jokes from a place of desiring to be humorous and making people laugh. This wasn't designed to make people laugh. It was designed to make people shocked.
Well, some people brought up that they think this is a result of divorcing the cartoonists from the story writers instead of having a storyboard room where the people who animate know how to deliver the gags of the show through their art.
And that might come to like they get mad when they hire like regular actors for voice acting roles, especially like it was like when Beyonce got hired for The Lion King, and a lot of people that are singers that get hired, or Taylor Swift getting roles in Cats. Remember Cats? Do you
never forget James Corden walking into the middle of a freeway dressed as a cat?
Yes. I don't think this is going to end up working for them because I think that the outrage, this is if it was designed to boost SEO via the YouTubers will win in the end, because the morbid curiosity got people to tune in for the premiere. I don't think it holds on to the viewers from here on out. I think the audience starts to drop off, but the viewers, for the people who are getting hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, those people are going to continue to get their views, because it's the same way I look at podcasting for wrestling. I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I listen to wrestling podcasts because I like to hear them dissect the industry. A lot of people aren't going to keep tuning into this to keep watching the show. They're going to keep watching the YouTubers to hear what they have to say about it.
And also, I think like it's a failed bet. So betting on it being so bad, people are going to watch it. They're going to clip the bad parts, and it's going to be everywhere. And people are going to know that those are the shite parts, and no one's gonna watch the actual thing
It's
looking
going
for
to
it.
be even more infamous than She-Hulk was.
Uh,
Nope. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people that finished She-Hulk all the way through that season.
Yeah.
I don't know about season 2, but this seems like it won't even retain its original intended audience.
Miss Marvel won. What was the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes product this year?
Really?
From audience or from critics?
From critics,
From
not
critics,
audience.
From critics, yeah. It was just above. What was it? It was like another. It was like it wasn't She-Hulk, but it was. I think Moon Knight was number 5, but I think She-Hulk was in the top 3.
Is bad
That's
humor
insane.
worse than snark?
I found that hard to believe. I thought She-Hulk got it pretty bad from a lot of critics too. The same way.
I might be misremembering that. I just know that Miss Marvel won the top, has the highest rated critic score on Rotten Tomatoes this year. What was that question again?
Is bad humor worse than snark?
Snark is worse to me.
For me, snark is the
But
worst.
bad humor, you can swing and miss, and I can still appreciate the effort. Snark is like, it's a defense mechanism that I don't have to try, so I'm pretentious and snarky from the get-go as a way of defending myself against the fact that I'm not actually funny.
And usually it takes form in bad humor.
Yes.
Snark.
Absolutely.
does.
Well, that's what this show was. This show was the embodiment of bad humor through snark because they view they view snarkiness as deep and intellectual. Like, I know enough about the human condition to be negative about it. Therefore, I know more than you.
Do you think that studios learn a lesson
No.
this year?
No.
That because they have 3 failures in a row. They have this, they have She-Hulk, and they have Don't Worry, Darling, which are all
Don't
the
Worry,
same-
Darling is a bigger failure than the other two.
True.
The other ones, okay, like to the some dude in a suit who doesn't understand what's going on in the world, all he sees is a bunch of people talking about it online.
Yeah.
Right? Like he
True.
doesn't see that most of the reaction is negative. They're looking, it's like when you look at your impressions, like your impressions on social media. How much reach did this post get? Do you care whether
Right,
that
but-
reach is bad or good most of the time? Most people don't. They just want it to get reach.
Right, but don't they at a point say, okay, the Kathleen Kennedy thing did not work out, so everybody that's mirroring that, do they stop doing that? Where it's like not only are we gonna make this, we're gonna demand in a sense that you like it, and if you don't, we're gonna spit in your face. And I just don't see that working long term.
I also think
That's
Obviously, it's not going to work long term, but I don't
Yeah.
see them even like
well, look what it did
parading
to Star Wars.
and pretending, huh?
Look what it did to Star Wars.
Exactly.
It eliminated movie profitability.
Yes.
It removed the movie model and turned them entirely into a streaming platform for their project.
Right, and now they have, like, in my opinion, the best Star Wars that has been made since the Disney takeover, which is Andor, which has none of this.
Yeah.
None of this.
But too little, too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is the other thing.
But do they take that lesson? That's my question. Does any studio say, like, this really doesn't work?
I really think so.
But also, are we just in an era that we're past season 2 television? You don't need season 2 anymore. Most of these shows are done as limited runs anyways.
Yeah.
The Last of Us episode was an hour and a half long. That's basically a movie. Yeah. Like, think about what they're getting. Like, think about what they have to get paid now. Like, an actor comes out to do a movie, right? And it's the movie ends up being 2 to 2.5 hours most of the time. And they're filming, how many scenes are they filming to do an hour and a half for every episode of Andor and making less money than they would make to do on a movie? Mm-hmm. That's for way more time.
Yeah.
Like, we're just in an age where they just do their season 1 of this, and then because it's owned by Warner Brothers, who owns tons of other properties, they're locusts, like the aliens in Independence Day. They just move on to the next property and
swarm to the next.
Yeah, they just move on to the next one. They don't need to. Did you guys see Santa Inc.?
No.
Santa Inc. doesn't even ruin a property. It just ruins not an American, but like a huge part of culture, which is Santa Claus. It goes, it ruins it with its
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, with Seth Rogen. It goes, it ruins it with its snarky cynicism, and then you move on to the next holiday that they'll ruin next year. Like, it's like they don't need to worry about longevity because they buy up all these properties.
Wesley, to your point, I've been kind of saying for a while that rampant progressivism or wokeness is on its death knell, because ultimately capitalism is about growth. It's about shareholder value, and they can say all they want that they're doing representation, they're doing X, and they're doing Y, but there's simply not money coming into things.
I don't know that it's on its death now. Your point is valid. I think it's going to cause a further bifurcation in the market. That there's going to be this that's funded by like insane billionaires, and then there's going to continue to be like small stuff like that, whatever I'm the Daily Wire, things like that, for lack of better example, that are doing those things better anyway. Like, not always, but they're trying to do the things that these shows are claiming to do, right? Like,
I mean,
like the Daily Wire has three movies that have female leads, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's better. It's a better execution of that idea than anything like this. It's not better than Hollywood. It's not, production wise. But
That's going to take time.
Yeah, it is, and that's fine.
And in, they'll have
most
to
people are
build
willing
up.
to deal with that. They're willing to deal with that with the thing that I make, where
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I understand that you don't have this much money to make a thing, so but I'll watch it." You know?
Yeah. So I love to poll up guys to ask: should we keep reviewing Velma? Should we keep reviewing The Last of Us? Or should we watch both and review those?
Click.
What should we wait or should we call it now, Mary?
The thing is, there's more anger at Velma, of course, than at The Last of Us. So I feel like automatically the hate watching type of reviews get more attention, and that's just how the internet works.
I'd like to do both, if for no other reason than I don't want to be somebody who just has to be angry all the time. Like, if I had to choose between the two, it certainly would be easier to just be mad at Velma all the time, but it actually takes some work to actually dissect what's going on in The Last of Us.
It doesn't personally make me mad to watch Velma. It's just what we would have expected, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no surprise in what we're seeing. I can't predict how it's going to end. I think the only answer is to like go to some extraordinary level of absurdity where like, I don't know, Scooby shows up somehow.
Yeah.
Like, it's inevitable that they're going to
figured
have
Scooby would end up
show
at the
up
end.
at the end somehow. Like, one person said that she should like get pregnant and then give birth to Scooby and then it would be like to be continued, and then there would be no more episodes ever, and that's just how it ends.
That's an amazing idea.
One thing I hope that everyone can be on the same page about is that it's just weird to age down these characters and then make them do adult things and be literally like naked on camera in
right
the
away.
show.
Yeah.
Like, one of the tweets even said, like, you age down the characters and then have them moan while kissing. Like, that's actually questionable. But nobody's talking about it.
Yeah. This was the notice here from Screen Rant that says Velma, the series, may have already been renewed for a second season at HBO Max, as listings for new episodes of the Scooby spin-off show have appeared on the Entertainment Identification Registry. Basically, like, when a show has been renewed for multiple seasons, it'll like list the ones that have been available, and then it will list out to the ones that have been approved to start, and it will just say like episode 1 X1, and then no information is provided, just that it's going to be there because they register the content.
I mean, everything else Mindy Kaling has ever made is astroturfed AF. Like, she doesn't have a real organic
whose
fan
daughter
base.
is she? Because like,
what is her nepotism connection? I'm
Seriously.
dying to know, because everything she makes sucks.
Yeah. Well,
She I don't even know how she's gotten to the point that she has in her career,
I mean-
because everything she has made has zero organic hype around it.
the Office was
completely
cool,
vanity
but
projects.
I'm not even joking, or as the kids say, capping. I don't even remember her role in the show. I don't remember. What did she do on the Office?
By the way, apparently the guy who's doing the show running for Velma was a writer for The Office and a major writer for what's it called? The Daily Show for years.
What's
back
his
in
name?
the day.
Oof.
Chris Gandy or Grandy or something like that. Back at, like, we're talking early days though, like 98 to 2001.
Okay.
Dude, I can't
As
take.
for her character on The Office, I think it was well liked and it was popular at
I don't
the
remember.
time, but
I'm not being ironic.
It's only likable. Like, her character was only likable because somebody else wrote it and came up with it. And like Brett said, she was standing on the shoulders of giants when she was on that show. And that's what most people know her from now.
Well,
still.
I think of it more as like you're on the shoulders of giants because Scooby-Doo is a massive property that has years of fan trust built up through fantastic media that's been already done, and you're just co-opting it and turning it into this garbage. That's even more standing on the shoulders of giants. You don't have the guts, let's say, to take these characters, name them something else. And I mean, what does it really have to do with solving a unique mystery to the Scooby-Doo world right now? Anyways, nothing. There's no Scooby in it. So they could have easily just made this with different character names and called it something else, Mystery High School or something stupid like that, and made the same exact show, and it would have been just as bad but less offensive.
Or they could have made a parody show,
Yeah.
parodying the franchise, but instead they had to attempt to make an addition to the canon of the franchise that everyone hates.
Here's another thing that needs to stop immediately. A show comes out, public reception, we hate it. Well, it's been renewed, so what can I say? Like, can you guys wait till the public tells you that we want it back or not?
But then every
Please.
time there's a show like 1899 that people really like, that has a cult fan base, it gets discontinued.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can you guys wait until the public reception comes and then make your choice? It's like, oh, well, the 18th Avatar movie's greenlit.
Well,
who's gonna care?
At least with that, you can defend it by saying, like, it is making over $1 billion now. What is that at? Like, over 1.5 billion.
But is it money
It's like
printing?
1.8 right
That's,
now,
I mean, it's sus, but the money is there. But for Velma, I have no idea. It feels like a season 2 for Velma was guaranteed from the very start because they feel like they're making a point
Well, good for them.
by promoting it.
Let's go super chats.
Yes. I can't look at them.
They're not showing
Sorry.
up.
They're not showing up for me.
Okay, hit refresh. All right, so.
Okay, I see
got
them
it?
now.
All right.
Waffle Sensei said, miss seeing you in DC. Mary and Dane would have loved to meet you guys in person. Till next time. If there is a next time, do you think there's going to be a next time?
There could be a next time. You never
Hopefully
know.
when it's warmer
maybe in the
outside.
spring. Maybe in the spring.
Then yeah.
That might be better.
1.93 billion.
So it's already nearly at,
1.93. Okay.
already almost at 2 billion already.
People love blue people.
Apparently.
That's wild. Corey Anderson said, Brett, it was nice to meet you. You are taller than expected.
See, I undersell it that way.
6'5" in real life.
It's what you do, guys. Is like
Brett
you
Reacher.
you sell. Oh, by the way, he's my choice for. I know you can't because he's already been in DC, but he's my
Batman.
Superman choice.
Oh, your Superman choice.
Either or. I mean, he'd be another kind of like what Dane was saying about how Henry Cavill would be like a cartoon version of Batman of Bruce Wayne. He would be a very big Bruce Wayne.
Who?
Alan Ritchson from Reacher. He's enormous.
I know who he is.
Yeah. So what you do is you undersell. You undersell all the time. That way you're always it's always say like plan for the worst but hope for the best. Just like lower those expectations all the time. They're like, wow, he's taller than I thought because they all thought I was gonna be like 4 feet tall.
Rascal King said the Rascal King sends greetings from tomorrow.
Been
Blonde.
a while. Yeah,
it has been a while since we've seen Rascal King.
I love third person.
Fear Me It's Bree said someone on Twitter tried to tell me Velma's not woke because, well, a lot of leftists didn't like it either. Yeah, okay, makes total sense. I mean, they're just offended by literally anything, so their take doesn't matter.
Yep.
EMC Squared said simping for Dane's hair today.
Ooh, spicy.
Nice.
See, I didn't mess it up.
Bad App.
Try as you might.
Bad App said it's official. Mary is the Taco Bell princess. I made her a shirt. Let the Taco Bell wedding bongs ring toots.
Also, by the way,
I saw that on Instagram. He made the shirts.
Yeah.
Taco Bell princess.
if you guys look at the bottom of the screen where the crisis meter is, I have created a brand new crisis meter sound that when it goes off when we get to a crisis party, and it is loud, obnoxious, and in your face, and it scared everyone when I played it the first time.
It didn't exactly scare me.
Oh,
I
it
just
scared
felt confused.
It's very much designed.
I wondered what that was last week. I heard it. Yeah.
The fact that you can hear it in other rooms makes me so much happier than I can
I'm
possibly
directly
explain.
below you, to be fair.
Bad App said, I reviewed MILF Manor. 10 out of 10. So cringe. It's good. Shyamalan's surprise twist.
Dude, I'm trying
The young
to...
dudes are the MILF's sons. Only one of them was one of the MILF's sons.
That's
But
so disturbing.
That was disturbing. He was one of the he was like kind of disguised as one of the contestants and then got with a different mom. It was like super weird.
How did the mom react?
I didn't see it. I just saw that in an article on it.
Guys, do you want a MILF Manor review by Paul?
Please, no.
I'm so glad that's not in the options.
We're
for the
leaving
poll.
that in Brett's independent research.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out in my free time later. Well, I'll let you guys know.
Caper2X said, dream on Bad App. Make mine Marvel. Howdy, PCC peeps. Howdy.
right.
Potatoes for Seamus said, hi, Brett, Mary, Dane, and Wesley.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's hold off on the rest, and we'll,
Okay.
actually, you know what? Go for it because it has to do with the show.
Oh, okay. Cowboy Tombo Slice said, I'm starting to think these show writers are taking the movie the producers movie producers too seriously and truly think they can make more money with a flop than a success.
I wonder.
Yeah.
And then they had canceled recently another Scooby-Doo movie
Halloween
along
Haunt.
with Batgirl,
Yep.
but then greenlight this? I don't understand the strategy right now.
Also, guys, if you want to watch something that's actually worse than all of this almost, go watch the trailer for Gotham Knights.
Oh,
It's so bad.
What is that?
Oh, it's so bad.
right.
Like,
Wow.
I sent it to Mary last night, and I was like having a seizure while I was watching
I
it.
still haven't watched it.
It's-
that and that 90s show looks
Oh,
atrocious.
yeah, that looks
Oh
bad.
my
the like everything, like the worst part about it is they try to do the shot with the Joker outside the cop car window from The Dark Knight, except for it looks like it was made by a 12-year-old like on like an exceptional amount of ADHD medication, like and it's bad.
Why is it so bad?
It is everything wrong with like late CW.
Yes.
It is the CW.
All the race swapping, all the gender swapping, all of them are like 12 years old.
Yeah, and it's hypersexualized. Like
That's
it's
weird.
it's
Yeah.
very weird. It's really uncomfortable.
And it makes no sense.
It may
given
be
that-
the worst real thing that I've ever seen. Like
See?
it has
Not
that. It has
parody.
that like
It's quite a claim.
modern soap opera. That all the CW shows
Yeah.
have. It's kind of like the originals or whatever, that kind of
Riverdale.
Vampire Diaries type production, but the writing is so painful. The actors, they're not actors, they are models that are acting badly.
Dustin in the chat, no, it's not a game. It's a television version that they're doing on the CW. And it makes no sense because they've moved away from all that stuff. All the shows are getting canceled. The Flash is going off the air this year. Most of them are going out. So, all right, we're moving on, guys. So this one, J.K. Rowling, like, wouldn't it be funny if she just ended up writing like a really big book? Like she does it again. She finds like another book series to write because what's the name of the other series?
Robert Galbraith is her pen name on the other books.
Yeah, like that's a great pen name. She should just go by Galbraith all the time. So here we go, guys. Harry Potter books stripped of J.K. Rowling's name are then resold by a bookbinder artist.
Who is this, you ask?
His name's Lauer Flom.
Kind of a weird name.
Very French-Canadian.
This is a Canadian 23-year-old bartender.
Yes.
Freelancing on the side.
Finished 30 of them so far.
Already a college graduate, by the way. Yep. You gotta applaud the entrepreneurial effort here. It's $170 to rebind one Harry Potter book.
Yep.
What?
And I think $2,000 to rebind a whole set.
Yeah.
And here's what the website advertises as their services. Send in your personal copies to be rebound, restored, and de-rowlinged.
Yeah, they get rid of the copyright page. They get rid of her name. The first thing I thought when I read this, it's got to be some type of like actual. It's like you're in your own ideological pop culture prison to love something so much, but hate the creator so much that you're willing to dedicate hours upon hours of your own time.
12 hours per book, by the way.
Per book. Like, are we so hopelessly connected to both our pop culture and our identity that this is a thing?
I mean, what I find ironic about this is that it's entirely symbolic gesture that doesn't hurt J.K. Rowling's bottom line, even in the slightest. Like, these are used books that have already been sold. She doesn't earn royalties from the books. She already got paid for them. And you are rebinding them without her name or the copyright information as a self-soothing gesture. Like, completely self-serving.
It's so funny
Has
because
nothing to do with her.
This is mentioned. It says creating a safe space. Flom said that the purpose of this project is to create a safe space for fans to find comfort in the books and critically engage with J.K. Rowling's work. You're not critically engaging. You're shutting your eyes via bookbinder and pretending that the conversation isn't happening. It's actual delusion.
wow.
Well, you can change the covers of the books, and you can make all of the cosmetic changes that you want to a Harry Potter book. But at the end of the day, Harry Potter is always going to be J.K. Rowling's work,
Yeah.
her creation, which reminds me of another debate about gender that we won't get into today. But anyway.
Here's the greatest thing about this. They can't live without Harry Potter.
No, they can't.
They
No.
just can't.
They can't.
They're addicted.
Yeah, they need their
They
Harry-
need their
little
butterbeer.
magic allegory.
They
and
need Harry
the
Potter.
magic is within
I
me.
get
They
it.
need to play Quidditch.
Yeah, they need to
They
play
can't
Quidditch.
stop.
Aloha
You're the
methadone.
kid under the stairs or wherever the hell he was.
Here's-
But they just hate the creator so much for her incredibly tepid and reasonable
Tepid, yeah.
opinions.
Yeah.
Her unbelievably not awful, like just borderline,
Yeah.
Almost like
milk
boring
toast.
takes.
Milk
Yeah.
toast.
That they have to save a whole day's worth of their Starbucks tips to send their book to some guy that'll take 12 hours to just take her name off.
Like-
Incredible.
Like is this not something that would be some type of copyright infringement? I guess not.
It
because
is,
you're reselling
though.
it. Is it?
It is. The defense, though, is that by first sale doctrine in the U.S., it says you can dispose of a book you bought in any way you would like, which includes selling each individual page separately if you so desired. However, yes, that is first sale doctrine, but it only applies if you haven't altered the original copyright
Yeah.
owner's work.
Is that the
so
hero?
if you're
Yes.
altering it to get rid of the copyright information and get rid of her authorship on it, you're altering the work. It's derivative work of yours that you are selling without paying royalties to the original copyright.
So this is a biological
Owner.
female.
They said it was
Yes.
a trans. Yes.
It looks like the white half of Klay Thompson.
The website says, my practice is
pretty impressive.
largely conceptual, exploring themes surrounding identity, memory, and trans masculinity. I also occasionally rebind
down.
Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is-
Someone went to college to learn how to do this.
like here's the
This is
thing.
a bachelor's degree.
It cost $1,200 to rebind all of them together. It's a hilarious defense for
Wow.
capitalism for somebody who's probably like very not pro-capitalism.
What an industrious young they though.
Yeah.
I think that J.K. Rowling should go with the Elon Musk solution and just buy the bar that this bartender works at and then fire him. I think
That's
that would
really
be the
funny.
ultimate revenge.
This all upsets me because she like historically drives me crazy. Like
Really?
the things she
Rowling?
says. Yeah, she drives me crazy. Like not
Why?
in a way to where I'd want to rebind her books or that I ever like would want to take the credit from her. Like
It's a
I
whole
am
nother
Her
level of
opinions
I am
or
a-
her
right,
writing? Her opinions
her
or
opinions,
writing?
like
Okay.
The retconning?
historically. Huh?
The retconning?
What's that mean?
Oh, her-
Retconning. I don't give a damn about that. That's like BS anyway. That's annoying, but like I don't care. And like, but I've never been like, oh, I love Harry Potter, but I hate her because she's a milquetoast leftist. No, but when she would come out in the news and say something ridiculous, like okay, that's dumb. But I hate that I am pushed, just like Trump. I hate that I'm constantly pushed into defending her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she drives me crazy. She'll be right, and then as soon as you cross into the line of the next sentence she says, like, okay, but here she's horribly wrong again. Like, I hate being on that line where it's like, leave her alone. But it is just like this further cements, in my opinion, like growing up, I was part of the religious right? And we were always accused of being intolerant, not being able to deal with, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world for like everybody that's in Hollywood, everybody that's in media hates you, and yet you watch their movies. They can't take a single person in a single production that disagrees with them on 1%.
Slightly.
Yes, on 1% of their opinions. Not even fully. Just like that the
Nuance.
cushions are
Yeah.
the wrong color on the couch.
Even-
Like they are apoplectic. So much that like I have to just rip them from my life, even though it does nothing but cost me pain and money.
Yeah.
It's so insane. It's so flamboyant.
And think
and-
of all the mental energy you're
Histrionic,
giving them.
Well, here's
It's like,
the, like
I can't stand you so much, so I'm gonna invest
yes.
in sending and saving money, and it's like
I have-
they live rent free in your heart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start like doing the same thing. I'm gonna do the poor man's version. I'm gonna take all my DVDs with directors that probably hate me and just black it out with a permanent marker.
Who should we do it to? Who should we take out of?
Look, here's the
That
thing,
would end up being like 99%.
Yeah, it's because the other day Luke asked me. He's like, what should I watch with people that like won't hate me?" Luke, and I was like,
No idea.
and I was like, like everyone, like there's nothing to watch, because even if the director doesn't hate you or the actor doesn't hate you, most likely the producer hates you and the other actor hates you.
That's why it kind of falls flat for me when someone says, like, don't give money to people who hate you. I don't care how someone feels about me when I'm buying a coffee.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
And the fact that you would care or think that J.K. Rowling cares what you do with your life, she doesn't.
No.
I mean, I agree with you that some of her takes are milquetoast and annoying, especially when it comes to feminism. But like, does J.K. Rowling's opinion about gender ideology keep me up at night? Absolutely not. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so there's that. But what I like about J.K. Rowling is that she doesn't need anyone's defense.
Yeah.
Like, she's just chilling. She's just doing her. I think it's funny also that, like, this person is charging such exorbitant amounts to do this, this book rebinding. And all of the possible profits that you could make from that will not even come close to enough for a legal fund that would help you if J.K. Rowling ever became aware of your existence and decided to take you to the cleaners. You would be defenseless, because this is an obvious case of copyright infringement.
Yeah.
He's also donating a portion of every sale to trans charities.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So,
because virtue signaling.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trans. So.
Yeah.
He's like.
Also, she'd never do that. Like, as much as she drives me crazy, she's a classy person. Like, she stays out of things.
No.
She only answers questions when asked, which I give her a lot of credit for. I don't dislike her.
Yeah.
It's just some of the things she says are like nails on a chalkboard to me.
I also have questions about whether, like, at a certain point, I'm trying to put myself in the mind of the people who do this. Can you really re-engage with the material? Like, knowing that, like I can turn it off and watch a movie with a bunch of actors that hate me because I can turn it off because I don't care enough to delete their name from every bit of work I've ever seen them on. If you care so much that you're literally paying $170 to have a book rebound, are you even able to then open that book and re-engage with the material? And you're going to tell me that you're not thinking for a moment about the author who wrote the words?
They can. We can, because we've been doing it our entire lives.
So what's the point of buying the book then?
I don't know.
If they can't re-engage with the material, if they say you spend
because it's
you're
performative. It's not about the books; it's about the performance and getting attention for it.
So it's not. So the people buying it aren't even doing it to reread the books; they're just doing it for the.
It's for spite.
It's clicks and upvotes. Yeah,
it makes no sense.
You did it.
Like
you're one of us. You're the best one. It's virtue signal.
Or is it
that's what it is.
Or is it bookshelf? It's like the idea, like that way they can put it on their bookshelf and not get yelled at, so that when somebody finally sees them in the back of their Zoom call and they got no pants on, and somebody says, "Oh, you have Harry Potter books in the background there. You're a trans."
No.
I mean, what's bizarre about that? If you take a look at my
copy, I've got the special edition without her name in it.
But what's bizarre about that already is that if you buy this book used, you're still not giving her a direct profit.
Yeah.
You're like, obviously. You don't need to go to all of this trouble. It's just
unless
that's what
you want
it
to be
is.
in
It's
the
about
news.
appearances. Yeah. I wanted to go over what this person said about the project. They said it's spurred by her transphobia. I was a fan growing up. When I did, it was a given that you would read Harry Potter. After J.K. Rowling's views on people like me came out, it left a bad taste in my mouth. It raised questions about the ethics of consuming her work. The purpose of this project is to create a safe space for fans to find comfort in the books and critically engage with J.K. Rowling's work.
See, they're still saying
I would
engage.
hope that the impact of my project is just to bring light to Rowling's transphobia and to make people aware of the things she has said. I get so many comments just asking what she had done, because this is irrelevant to normal people. Yeah. But
they don't
obviously
say it.
The point of the project is not to make Rowling's story more accessible to people who love it. The point of the project is to bring light to J.K. Rowling.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
it's
who
actually
lives rent-free in your head.
To bring attention to them. They don't want you to know what she actually said because it's sensible. And most people will be like, yeah, that makes sense. But they just want you to accept that their opinion of it is gold. Like, I think she's a transphobe, and you should too. Otherwise, you're a bad person. Don't look at what she actually said, which is very sensible and, like, tepid, as you said.
Somebody should write their own article and put excellent capitalists, like they should put like fantastically effective capitalists.
Gen Z entrepreneur.
Lauer Flom has found a great way to profit from transphobia.
This
Well,
is
I would
what
say legally
freelancing looks
ambiguous
like for
capitalist.
Zoomers.
For me, it's the misuse of words that annoys me the most. Because, so what the person's saying is, I'm creating a safe space. No, you're not. You're quite literally just taking a name off a book. What space has been made more safe?
Yeah.
Like you're not opening a room in your coffee shop where people can come and buy these books and then discuss how hurt you are. That would be a safe space. You see, like they just like, oh, they like this word.
It's bodies and spaces. That's, that's the language.
It just reminds me of when I was in my master's degree, and when you would get a. Oh, I'm better than you remember, and you would get a grade by how much you would bend the knee. So it would be like, oh yes, gender is like you just say all the words and like yeah, checks off.
So she's literally she who must not be named.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
Whoa.
No, Dragon's Talon 1001 has the best one here. He says she should put out a special edition without her name on it. That way she can profit from it. Like she should release a version that's new that doesn't have her name on it for people to buy.
Voldemort.
Or have Robert Galbraith's name on it.
Oh. No, that would be. They would love that.
It's just. I guess you're right. Like, because when I read this article originally, my first thought was I pictured someone like in their room, like feeling safe reading this book because when they get through a few chapters and they close the book and they don't have to look at the name. Yeah. But like this Drake. Is the same thing as people who don't like to watch things that upset them. Like these are the people who fast forward through like debates when somebody makes an argument they don't like. Yeah. Like it's the same energy, right?
Yeah, that drives me crazy. So I have a friend, a former friend, I guess, that when this popped up, I was with him and I brought it up and I thought that he would like, I knew he was kind of, yeah. And he was like, oh, this whole thing drives me crazy. I was like, me too. And he was like, just don't say anything. And I was like in the car with him and I was like, what do you mean? He was like, why would you even say, if you feel that way about those people, why would you say anything? I was like, why are they above reproach? Yeah. Why is this movement above reproach? And he was like, well, you don't understand what people like that have been through. I was like, all people have been through things. And what she said is not even a critique of people. It's a critique of a political movement, which is totally fine. And the idea that your perspective is like, you should not even say anything. It so vividly paints the picture.
And mechanically,
I cannot hear it. I can't hear it. You disagree with me on the color of the couch cushions. I can't hear it.
And mechanically, what's crazy is, so they are standing up for their group, right? Mm-hmm. As is she. She's standing up for biological females, and she is saying the gripes that she feels as a biological female. So mechanically, intrinsically, they're doing the same thing, but they just can't comprehend that that's what's happening, and they still see it as a slight towards them. It's not.
What's annoying about J.K. Rowling is that the only reason she thinks what she has to say is of any value is because you're still in the paradigm of being an oppressed group that has gripes. Like, I've been victimized. Like, that's the only reason that she thinks she has something valuable to say, which is why she annoys me.
Okay,
and
billionaire.
White Western woman.
I don't care, like, about J.K. Rowling's opinions on literally anything. She could be out here advocating for, like, mass atrocities, and I would be like, cool, like, I don't care. Like, you wrote Harry Potter.
Even short of that, if she just has regular ideas that annoy me, I would still want to talk to her. You know what I mean? Like, if I had the opportunity, like, hey, J.K. Rowling's going to be on whatever, I'd be like, that's awesome. Like, she still did the thing she did, even though she has, like, views that traditionally annoy me. Mm-hmm. You know, like, it's okay for somebody to have views that annoy you.
I think all of these people who hate her just would be better off doing something noteworthy of their own. But they're
True,
capable of
but
doing that.
I also disagree with you that they're doing what she's doing. They like this movement. The movement that she's actually speaking about isn't just trans people. Trans people don't all feel that way. Like, it's a very, very small minority of even them that are insane activists that hate her. And they wear all of them as a shield.
Is there anything anybody here likes so much that they would rebind or change something just so that they could continue to do it after they found out that I think that's one thing that people on the other side of the aisle right now have the benefit of, is you've kind of got that callus scabbed over now. Like, it doesn't bother you as much when you find out that everybody else in these spaces doesn't agree with you. Like, I couldn't care less.
For me, it just adds to the lore. It doesn't it doesn't sway my opinion one way or the other. It just adds to the lore of it.
But it will be over anything. You don't have to have done anything. Look how people freak out about Chris Pratt, who has done nothing to anybody. And
but
in fact, all the people that work with him love him. All of them.
It is weird how him and J.K. Rowling just they instigate the same area of Twitter. They really do, both of them. Let's go super chats.
Nebik27 sent $1 without a message.
Thank you.
Bryce E said, it's ironic that J.K. Rowling used to be the left's champion, but now since she committed wrongthink and didn't march in lockstep, she's all the buzzwords. That's why she annoys me kind of. Like, she thought that she was beyond reproach because she was retconning her work to make Dumbledore gay, and she's the perfect feminist. She seems very egotistical. That's all.
It's and like they all come for you eventually. Like, if you're part of that aspect of Hollywood or pop culture, every opinion you have is like a gun pointed at your own head with a bullet. Every new opinion you have that hasn't been presented to the world has the potential to anger everyone, and you're just waiting for yourself to say something wrong.
Tacti Platty said, glad to meet Brett. He's 10 out of 10 guy. That is all.
Thank you.
Like
and I did make sure, I saw you posted that you got your sticker.
Yeah,
I will
thank
make
you for
sure,
the sticker, Tacti Platty.
And I will make sure that Tim gets his sticker tonight. I was also tasked with shepherding a stone to Ian. I was basically everyone's mule.
Where's my sticker, Tacti?
Over the weekend. So
Dane's mad that he doesn't
the hell,
have a
dude?
sticker.
Yep. Thought we had something going.
Biddy Beasley said, watched first 2 Velma episodes back to back. It was so typically what I knew it would be. I didn't cringe or get mad. Didn't laugh either. Gotta hand it to them.
I mean, I don't even look like when people talk about woke. This is what you should be using. Is there a Bechdel test for wokeness? This is like the actual
test?
like this. It's like so bad.
Okay, how about like can 2 minorities talk to each other for more than 3 minutes about something other than the fact that they're oppressed?
Is that the
Bechdel test?
That's
for
the
wokeness?
Bechdel test. That's the Bechdel test for wokeness. Do you know what the Bechdel test is?
No.
Okay. The Bechdel test. How would you explain it? It's do two
women
have a
have
conversation?
to talk to each other about something other than a man for a minimum of like a certain number of minutes.
5 or 7 minutes or something like that. It's like it was created by somebody as a joke, and it like caught
No,
fire.
I don't think it was a joke.
It was created
Amy
as a
Bechdel,
joke,
or whatever her name is.
I heard it was created as a joke, and then it became a thing later.
Yeah.
I thought it was coined academically, but I don't know.
Horrible.
Gross John said, you were right, Mary. The menu is very good. Brett, Wesley, or anyone, can I get some random movie recommendations? I know Jane has
Absolutely.
one.
What do you mean, or anyone? I'm the
I
only
gave
other person
Sarah
here.
like 200 movies.
I
I
don't so disrespectful.
posted
Right?
online.
Like,
No
why
sticker?
are they disrespecting Dane today? What's going on?
No sticker.
Dane,
What do you mean? or
Dane has a
anyone?
recommendation.
Dane, you have a big recommendation right now.
I do, guys. Cinematic
I know
masterpiece.
where this is going.
Puss in Boots. What a great movie.
Tell everyone why.
It was just fun from beginning to end. And honestly, Brett, I told you in person, but now I gotta say it public. I underestimated your point of not having physical human actors on screen so much.
Get rid of
And
them.
that was 100% the highlight of the movie.
Yep.
That it was all just cute animals being cute and animalistic.
Yep.
Seriously.
No, down with the humans in 2024. We don't need them. It's just animals. Wesley, movie recommendations?
Oh man, you put me on the spot.
When you're put on the spot,
Yeah,
it doesn't
it's
work.
hard, yeah.
I watched American Gangster over the weekend. Go watch American Gangster with Denzel Washington.
I watched Airplane. Highly recommend
I also
Airplane.
watched Indiana. I made a post on Friday. I said I sat through 2 episodes of Velma. This is my reward, and I watched Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. So, one of my favorite things about Raiders of the Lost Ark or any of those is it's the violence that's just very clearly shown on screen at a time when. Nowadays would either be cut away from, shown wider, or just wouldn't be done in the same way for that movie. Yeah.
If you want to feel broken and scarred after a movie, watch Starry Eyes. It's free on Tubi.
There you go.
I ruined one of
Tubi.
our cohorts' weekends by recommending that movie, and I sincerely apologize.
Wesley, did you come up? Do you have a favorite soundtrack to a movie?
Yes.
Space Jam.
I do. Your Space Jam?
Boom.
Not bad.
Oh
But,
my God, the Monstars anthem right now. Let's fucking go. Holy
Pound it.
crap.
Yeah.
Two of them. Atomic Blonde and Shaun of the Dead.
I have a really actually good one.
Empire Records.
No, it's about this chick who's like a child super soldier.
Oh, Hannah?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, with Eric Bana.
Also
think
watch
so.
Kick-Ass if you haven't seen Kick-Ass yet. I don't know if
Kick-Ass
it's
is good.
a,
Kick-Ass 2, not so much.
Yes, not so much. Like apparently she said she'd come back to do a third one.
Chloe Grace
Chloe
Moretz.
Grace Moretz said she'd come back to do a third one, which I thought she had said the opposite of when she was younger.
Needs a paycheck.
So no, she just did the Peripheral. The 8 episodes of the Peripheral. See, nothing's made to be watched more than once anymore.
Yeah.
Gross John said you
That
were
is
right.
true.
Oh no. Next one. Usually Matt said, how is a repair service copyright infringement?
It's not repairing it though.
Part
It's
of the services
changing
are
it.
repairing the books, but other services, which I'm sure are most of the ones being purchased, are de-Rowling
Yeah.
the book.
Also, guys, watch White Men Can't Jump if you haven't seen White Men Can't Jump, so that you can know not to watch the remake that's being produced right now.
It's going to be bad.
Tacti Platty said, I'm no Harry Potter fan, but removing her feels like R word.
What?
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
Wow, yeah.
R word.
Yeah, no.
Jeez.
Am I
Spicy.
Is that a different R word than the one I'm thinking of?
Removal. I don't know.
Bad Up said, for our wedding, can I still be called the groom and groomsman, or is that term ruined now? Probably is ruined.
Yeah.
But hey, it's your imaginary wedding. You can make it whatever you want.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So, what's the quote that everyone kept posting on all of the Lord of the Rings stuff when the trailers came out from Tolkien?
What was the quote? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Evil cannot create, only destroy. Yes,
Oh,
no. So,
I didn't know they used that.
yeah. The idea-
Journalists cannot create. They can
cannot.
only destroy.
Yes, they cannot. So the idea here is somebody made something successful. That successful product is now being watched by hundreds of thousands of millions of people everywhere. And a bunch of people came in and said, hey, it's not broke. Let's fix it. That's what they said. What is happening, guys, is that Wednesday has been renewed for a season 2, and CBR has some thoughts. They say it's time to hire more Black and Latine writers.
Do you guys remember the first backlash when they were saying that the Black characters were like pigeonholed into being bullies because it's stereotyping them as aggressive and violent? Well, this is just taking that backlash a step too far. I just want to say, like, on behalf of Gen Z, this is probably most Zoomers' first introduction to the Addams Family at all, like that whole franchise. And they're showing so much support for it. I haven't seen any complaints from Zoomers about this. I'm just seeing millennial journalists complaining about how it's not diverse enough in the writer's room or on screen, even though the main character is Hispanic.
Latine writers can explore Wednesday's Mexican heritage without
What is
stereotypes.
Latine?
Okay.
What is Latine?
Not everything needs to be explored. The secondary characters that you're complaining about don't need more backstories. Her heritage does not need hours and hours of exploration. You have a formula that works. Stick to the damn formula.
You know what would be awesome? If they get more Latine writers, and then Wednesday's like, I like tacos.
Well, literally, it says, perhaps the reason that Wednesday's Latine identity wasn't a large feature of her character in season 1 is because there were no Hispanic or Latine writers credited. This is an area that can be improved.
This is not important to the freaking story, you
Please
psychopaths.
Don't make Wednesday's Latine identity a large feature of her character.
It doesn't matter,
That is the
dude.
last thing that people are asking to happen. Okay, so let's just go through the backlash one by one. Firstly, they're claiming that the queen bee of the school in Wednesday, named Bianca Barclay, perpetuates an angry Black woman trope because she gets angry at Wednesday.
All this stuff.
I guess black characters can't be in a conflict with anyone
this
anymore.
This is the actor's fault. This is the actor's fault for courting years of, I'm so proud to represent this group. When you make everything about, when it's no longer about playing an individual character with individual goals, desires, and needs, and you make it about a larger story that has nothing, a larger sect of the world that has nothing to do with the story, you court this type of dialogue with people, where it can't just be that the person that she's fighting with in school is an individual, is a human being that has their own life experiences that add up to her right now at this time in her life, maybe sort of being a bully. It doesn't have to equal out to something greater than that.
Well, I watched the series over the weekend, and for the most part, I really liked it, and I realized what hypocrites the journalists were for saying that Bianca Barclay is a one-dimensional character, because it completely ignores the context that she had a character arc that developed throughout the season to the point where she almost was allied with Wednesday by the end.
Yeah.
And they show like parts of her own family history, her relationships with her mom and her stepfather, and like things to do with her powers because she's a siren. This character is far from one-dimensional or zeroed down to an angry black woman trope simply because she is angry at Wednesday. I'm sorry, black characters are allowed to have emotions without it being a racist caricature.
This goes back to the Kumail Nanjiani thing. You can't play villains. Can't play villains. You don't want to portray a harmful stereotype.
Well,
a harmful stereotype that no sane, logical person with a balanced set of emotions would ever expound to mean something larger than that. Nobody's like watching this show and been like, wow, I think that means I bet you all black people are like that. No one's saying that, you freaking weirdo.
Another thing that this article complained about is Gomez Adams, Wednesday's father, getting accused of murder and then later being acquitted.
Yeah.
Because it perpetuates the stereotype that, quote, Latins are violent criminals, even though he was acquitted of the murder.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was revealed that it wasn't even a murder in the first place. I won't go into like spoilers there,
what
but
you're
like
saying is
he
there was a
didn't
story?
commit the crime. And
was a
yes,
story? Yeah.
there was a story. If anything, it goes against that stereotype, if such a stereotype exists.
Well, this is why you shouldn't do interesting things, right? This is why you shouldn't do interesting things.
Because you'll just get punished for it. Like, why even try? And then another thing they brought up was the mayor and his son, Lucas. They're both black characters, and they are basically the elites of the town neighboring Wednesday's school, Nevermore. It's called Jericho. And they have discriminatory attitudes toward the students at Nevermore because they are the outcasts rather than the normies. I'm questioning it because, like, why aren't black characters allowed to have discriminatory attitudes toward other characters for immutable traits, even though that's portrayed as a bad thing? Like, how is this questionable? It was brought up as a problem, but there was no explanation as to why it's a problem. Just because they are black characters, they're not allowed to be bad people or make bad decisions?
Because,
I mean, even the mayor's son is shown to have a conflict of interest because he, makes friends with Wednesday's roommate, goes to a dance with her. They play a prank on all of the kids at the dance. And then he is visibly guilty for having played this prank on them, but then goes off with his friends from town.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to see that there is complexity to this character's motivations.
They don't understand.
But they don't understand that. Yeah.
Also, remember, this is because they don't know how to create anything from start to finish. They do not know how to do what their suggestions are. These journos wouldn't know how to do this from a season 1 that actually got traction. So just like always, they have to find something that other people like and latch onto it like a bunch of freaking locusts and suck it dry of any creativity and fun.
It's very Marxist in the sense that, like, you cannot create a Marxist society. You have to take over a thriving capitalist society.
They don't know how to create.
And that's why all their characters do what they do, which is they don't have stories that teach you a lesson. They stand in front of you and look into the camera and say, this is how I feel. Like, everything they do, they have somebody who goes on a diatribe about something, like Captain Marvel.
And if they make any of these changes now, it will interrupt the flow of the storytelling in season 1. It will feel inauthentic, and it will be dead on arrival.
You know what? I hope they do. Seriously, I
Well,
hope,
yeah, that's
I
what
hope
they get.
do.
If they make these changes and they hire a bunch of people based on quotas and what journalists at CBR want for some reason, as if that's some selling point, like they know what they're talking about, and then the show tanks, that's their own fault.
I hope Jenna Ortega in interviews she just keeps saying, as a Latin, while she's drinking Ovaltine. She's like, as a Latin, I feel so happy about representation, and they just talk about it, and then every single episode is rated like a 3.
The
Now-
replacement of Latinx with Latine totally
What does that even mean?
threw me for a loop.
I think
I
Latinx is
haven't
better.
been following the trends
What does
on the
Latine
lingo.
mean?
I like Latinx. I like the X. You know?
Has more spice.
Is Latine
Yeah.
supposed to be reference to like? Is it actually supposed to be Latino teenagers?
No. It's
Latines.
INE at the end. But here's another line from this article that
I'm glad it wasn't
absolutely
you would have broken.
just like made me feel insane. It said, though Wednesday herself subverts the feisty Latina stereotype due to her reserved stoic demeanor. As the show delves into her romantic life, the writers need to avoid another pitfall of writing her as a Latina seductress.
Cool.
We're talking about a child right now.
Oh, she's not a child, is she?
Her character is
The
15.
character's a child. Okay, look. Since when did every character, like, yes, it is cool when they break stereotypes, but that's the thing. Stereotypes only exist for a reason, right? So that you can contrast it heavily outside. Do I get excited every time a white character is not portrayed as a sleazebag criminal in TV shows now? No, I don't care. I'm a bit surprised maybe that they chose to do it, but I don't think that it means something larger for society.
I love that these dorks have a checklist of very stereotypes. Like, okay, angry black female. Sorry.
Like,
Confirmed.
plus it looks
They're
like
the ones telling black women that they're not allowed to appear angry.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
craziest thing. You are perpetuating the trope yourself.
you do not reward major success by firing the people that made it successful. You don't bend the knee to weirdo pop culture terrorists.
And not just hating on the people that made it successful, but also hating on the director, Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Because all of his previous projects are anti-black and racist, which is like based on, The Boogeyman had a black voice actor, and he had a Cajun accent, and he was a villain. Therefore, Tim Burton is
The
anti-black.
Boogeyman?
Yeah.
But look at all the Latinos.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Dude,
Oh.
the funny thing about this is like if they do season now they're off to the races for season 2, right? So is it going to be more episodes? Will it be less episodes? But it always starts in season 2. Like this is why I was talking about I never like watching anything past season 1 or season 2 because the writers, they run out of stuff to talk about, they run out of things to do, and they're like, what can we do? Now there is an argument to be made that once you get through the first story in a TV show, especially one that doesn't have an expiration date, these are limited run series, but if you're doing 24 episodes a year for 10 years, eventually you're going to get into their heritage and this stuff. It's it's just season 2. You don't need to start going into a bunch of extraneous material that has nothing to do with what made it successful in the first place. It doesn't make any sense.
I want it.
And just imagine being these writers. Imagine being these writers who pull off this unbelievable hit and they're like, look, you did fantastic. You did fantastic, but what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the people that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And we're going to replace you because that's equity, I guess.
I just
So
want
how
to
does
see
that
her be like,
incentivize them doing a good job, season 1 even succeeded in spite of itself because they included all of these terms that will not age well. They mentioned the existence of TikTok, which is awful. I mean, that would be like watching a TV show from 2014 mention Vine today.
Yeah.
They even had Wednesday say the word mansplaining. They had her, go off on diatribes about how the Pilgrims are responsible for mass genocide. And they, made her admonish her male love interests for trying to save her. And she was like, I was able to save myself. And she talked about the patriarchy. In spite of all of these little, spiteful lines that they sprinkled in, it was still a good show. It was still entertaining, and it did amazingly. Obviously, it had viral potential, and you see the TikToks about it. Everyone loved it, and they still want to ruin it.
They're going to ruin it. They will. They don't understand. I am fully of the belief that anything that goes right in Hollywood right now is an accident. I don't believe that, like, you can say all you want that they get it right. Oh my God, they did such a... Reacher will be a good test of that. If there's any garbage in Reacher season 2, they don't understand. They literally luck into it. When they do something right, it's kind of like Tim would always talk about, like Trump slips on a banana peel and does it. It actually is slipping on a banana peel and doing a backflip. They don't know how to actually... Taylor, you can make the argument that Taylor Sheridan knows what he's doing as far as creating content. Even then, that's more in line with... That's his value system, and he's in charge of all of these projects. They do not get it right on, like, they don't get it right on purpose. They will screw this up in season 2. I can almost guarantee it.
Well, that's good. I want that to happen because then it can be, see, this is a show. It was a success. They brought these people after a success. They did their thing, and now it failed. Like, there's the customer journey. That's all you need.
There's like a growing hall of infamy in Hollywood right now that I think could be used to teach them a lesson. But they still don't seem to be making any changes.
Do you think that they allow, and I'm talking about the locusts, allow this stuff to fall through the cracks because they think that it's going to fail and they will make fun of it, and then when it is successful, like Reacher, like they think Reacher is going to fail because it's
no, I think there's no social capital behind military focused shows. It's for an older male audience that they're not interested.
But they assume that it's going to fail, and they'll make fun of it. Like I have a lot of friends that were in like the Screen Junkies era, right? You know, and they would make fun of like American Sniper and stuff.
They just hate Middle America and they hate
and they don't they think that nobody's going to watch this crap, and then it explodes and they're like what?
To this
and
day
then they're upset about it.
If you rewound time, and all of these people were who they are today, and you put them on a podcast 2 days before Passion of the Christ came out, they still wouldn't understand why it would do so well, because they don't understand the rest of the country. They're blind to it. It's it just makes no sense to me, and I'm happy to watch it burn, because like I don't know if there is. Can you think of somebody other than a Taylor Sheridan who knows what he's doing to a point where you assume it's not an accident?
Explain what you mean by that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so when he makes his projects, I've seen some of Yellowstone. I've seen 1883. I like Tulsa King. I'm halfway through Mayor of Kingstown.
Christopher Nolan?
No.
No?
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, yes. You would be right. The movies are a little bit different. I'm thinking more in the TV space here, because you get more like when you do a show for 3 to 5 seasons. That's your litmus test.
The Breaking Bad people
was the first season. Yeah, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. All of those shows would maybe be a good example of people that understand what they're doing, and it's not an accident. When it's one of these,
Holly, maybe?
when it's one of these Netflix series or a Hulu series or an Amazon Prime series that happens to do well, I don't believe that it's on purpose. I think they get lucky.
I think Noah Hawley and Ryan Murphy, like I don't like Ryan Murphy stuff, but he knows what the people that like him like, and then Noah Hawley, the guy that did Legion, and Fargo,
and even like that's back to that space where those are things that nobody like. They understand that there's no social capital in making those things horribly progressive, because the target audience for that is well outside of their demographic. They want the youths. They want the kids.
But that's my point, is that they think that it's outside their target demographic, but then what happens is lots of people like it, and then that's when they seize on it,
and then they steal it.
And I'm saying, do you think the reason that it falls through is they're like, oh, nobody's going to care about another Addams Family thing? And then it's huge, and they're like, well, we want it.
Well, yeah, it's kind of interesting, because the Addams Family one, they kind of fell into it. There is an argument that the Addams Family or even Scooby-Doo were such large franchise to begin with that there is a reason to co-opt that for themselves. But it's the kids. They want to get the kids young and indoctrinate them into the way they believe the world should be. And then when something does well, like I said, I don't see that even happening with Reacher season 2 or something like that, because like, are they really going to indoctrinate a bunch of middle-aged guys who want to watch a cool show about a dude beating people up and solving crime?
What they're going to say is like, we're going to make it where it's not just them, also their wives, and their kids are going to love it now too, because we're going to include this character and that character, and he's going to learn. Reacher's going to learn in this one. That's what's going to happen.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Super Chats.
Corn Pop said, "Mary, I'm not a pervert."
Whoa.
That was great timing.
Yikes. Okay, well.
You guys have no
That was a
idea
trip.
how much fun I have making these now. Like, how can I scare the living crap out of everyone today?
It didn't even scare me. I was just, I was
me.
just.
Oh,
like,
it got
numb.
me.
Got
Yeah.
me.
Wayward Soul said fave soundtracks: The Crow, Escape from LA, Demon Knight. Bobcat said,
I don't even know what's on the Crow soundtrack. I
don't know.
I don't know if I ever saw. Also the movie, the original Scream movie, has some really good songs on there. Catherine, Whisper to a Scream.
Interstellar?
Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, I mean, that might be a good score. I don't even know what the songs are on the
Scott
Interstellar.
Pilgrim, definitely.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Black Sheep.
that was a good song. Bobcat said, "'Tis better to be a groom than a groomer."
Well, yes, words to
yeah,
live by.
That's true. Caper2X said, "Someone holds Brett Cooper doing live casts."
Is Brett Cooper live right now?
Holds. I don't understand. Tacti Platty said, "Brett, thank you for your outrage. As a Latino, Latine is made up. Dane probably doesn't sit around thinking the most important thing about himself is being Latino. Our background isn't our entire identity."
Does anybody here wake up and say, like, I don't wake up and I'm like, thank goodness I'm Polish in in Croatian. Like, it's just not a thing.
Corn Pop sent us an angry emoji.
Hopefully
he's not angry at us.
What are you angry at Corn Pop? We need to know.
Clint said, "Howdy people, sorry I'm late. Is that Sebastian Stan?"
He wasn't. Yeah, you're Sebastian Stan. You kind of got
I'm
some.
Sebastian
You've
Stan?
you've got some Winter Soldier hair vibe. Winter Soldier hair vibes going.
Jacob Edler said, "For the love of God, please watch Triple R. You'll love it."
Yeah, everyone loves that.
Watch what?
I don't. I think
I'm not
It was not. It was not Jacob Edler, but it was a couple of other people. Hava Owens told me to watch it and gave me the suggestion. I asked if there was a dub version of it. I can't do just sub. I have to do dub.
By the way, everyone that's hating on me for liking Puss in Boots, watch it. Just watch it.
They're hating on you?
Yeah, just watch it.
Why?
Why? It's
What's their problem?
It's a cute little cat being clever. What's wrong with that?
That's true. I don't know why they don't like it. Give it a chance.
And there's a doggy.
Caper2X said, "I'm impressed. Mary finally saw Wednesday. Bravo." I mean, it wasn't hard. I kind of just sat there in front of a screen, but thanks, I guess.
The show did all the work.
Yeah. Caper2X said, Lampreys? I don't
Lampreys?
know. Lampreys, Brett. I don't know how to say this. What is this?
Is that supposed to be like Bastard X? I don't know.
Stick.
We're also being Jacob Edler says I can't speak in the chat. He says I can't read. So
I don't know what that means.
one more.
Who pissed in his corn pops this morning?
We have no idea.
What made him so popped off? I don't know.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So Kanye West got married, but not really married, apparently.
I mean,
right?
celebrities get fake married a lot. You'd be surprised. I know that Kourtney Kardashian got married like 3 times.
Fake.
So first they got married in Vegas. Then they got married at a courthouse. Then they had a wedding ceremony in Italy.
Yeah.
Like celebrities do fake marriages just for fun.
Yes.
It's a hobby for them.
Because they have the money to do the fake marriage. Most people
Yeah.
they spend all their savings having the wedding. So her name is Bianca Censori, right?
Yes.
She's another Kim Kardashian clone. She kind of looks like Kim Kardashian.
I mean, she doesn't even really look like Kim Kardashian. It's just throw a pebble in LA and you'll hit someone who looks vaguely like Kim Kardashian.
But
it's not hard to find one.
Isn't LA emaciated women?
No,
She
that's not what's in right now. What's in right now is gaining a bunch of weight and then getting a BBL.
Okay, well, you heard it here first.
Yes.
So it says it's very exciting news. This is from her sister. It says it's very exciting news for both my sister and the family, but we choose to have some privacy for the time being, says Angelina Sensori. It's also there's the best part of this whole story was how they were telling their family members on LinkedIn. My favorite part of the story is the
is
idea
LinkedIn the new Facebook
LinkedIn
now?
is the new Facebook. That's
Dude, LinkedIn is Tinder for boomers.
yeah. Well, it says Sensori is originally from Australia, and her family expressed their happiness about the new relationship. And it says, oh, LinkedIn is down there. I thought it said on LinkedIn. Damn it. It's way cooler if they're just like hanging out on LinkedIn and that's how they communicate.
How
I've never
many
had a
LinkedIn marriages are there?
We need to look it up.
There's probably not a lot, but there's a lot of LinkedIn sexual harassment suits. I bet.
Oh no.
So is this one her or is this one Kim or is this one Sensori?
That's Sensori.
Okay.
But the fact that you can't tell the difference says a lot.
Says a lot.
I can tell.
Hey, and if anybody should know, it's me being
The resident Kim Kardashian
Stan.
stan.
I'm a stan of this one.
So it says West hasn't exactly been sneaky with his obsession over Kim Kardashian the Kim Kardashian lookalike, releasing a track last month dubbed "Sensory Overload." Get it?
One of the lyrics was, "And the Bible said I can't have any more sex till marriage," and that's why some people think they got married quickly.
Wait, so is this but if they're not legally married, then we have the discussion. Then it becomes the idea of like, does marriage need to be officiated by the state? And
no, I disagree. If they're not legally married, I don't give a damn.
No,
What if Shane
they're not
married
married. Like they're not.
Are they? They're not like
if they had a
by an
ceremony?
ordained minister.
Like Shane Cashman. Maybe he married them.
So
Starring
is
some
it
Shane
really
Moore.
like he had to have it quick, so he had to get married quick?
I don't know.
I don't know that workaround will
Does that
work
work?
upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I.
So like the first thing I thought of was like, man, you got to kind of be ballsy to like want to be with Kanye in the middle of the crap storm that's going on in the world right now.
I was thinking the same thing about Britney Spears' husband.
Yeah.
Like there's this video that we were just watching where she's flipping out in some restaurant, going off on the staff there and seemingly talking to herself after her husband had already left the building.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know what he was getting into.
And then after she
I don't know
left.
if Bianca Sensori knows what she's getting into.
Yeah.
I of course hope Kanye's okay.
There was also like people saying that Kim Kardashian apparently hates this chick, and I love.
How would you even know?
But I love the idea of petty Kanye that like one time 3 years ago she was like, I hate that Bianca chick, and like he's like he held on to that to this day, and now he's marrying her out of spite.
If he ever breaks up with Bianca Sensori, though, I hope that Pete Davidson is gonna date her next.
It
has to happen.
Incredible.
Eventually,
Full circle.
Kanye will just
It'll
date
come
Pete
for
Davidson.
full circle. Yeah.
Dude, you guys know what's happening with Shakira and her ex-husband?
Yeah, I saw the video where she like pointed that witch doll at her ex-mother-in-law's house.
Wow, I didn't know that. But the thing is, her ex-husband's like a famous soccer player.
Yeah.
And who married a hot 20 or is dating a hot 22-year-old.
Of course.
And she, as one does.
As one does.
Yeah. And she made like a super spiteful song about how you changed a Rolex for a Casio and how you changed like an expensive car for or
you
whatever.
lose when you do that.
The thing is, Casio, the oh my god, I forgot the word.
The watch company?
The watch company, thank you. I forgot the word watch.
It's a watch.
Thank you, gracias. The watch company made an ad. They had the lyrics like you changed me for a Casio, and then it says the Casio, and just had a picture of her looking hot as hell. I was about to say another.
The 22-year-old or Shakira?
The 22-year-old.
I mean, you can't have anything on Shakira looks wise. Like you can't come her
apparently
looks.
you can.
She's very attractive.
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
She's and plus she's a tax hero, so we love Shakira here at Pop Culture Crisis.
We do.
Another thing this reminds me of now is Miley Cyrus's new album where she's just like hating on her ex-husband Liam. She recorded a music video in the same house that he reportedly had 14 affairs.
Wow.
Like
Not
in
15.
That house.
He stopped at 14. He felt sorry.
He grew a conscience.
He felt guilty.
I don't
at
know
14.
where that rumor comes from, but like he reportedly had 14 affairs in his house, and then she recorded a music video in it, and like has done all of these like Easter eggs to get back at him. Like one of.
But the cool thing, the guy's now wearing Casios, and he's driving the car that she makes fun of in the song to spite her.
I like the idea that like when Liam would bring the girls in the house, he'd do that measurement thing like you do with kids where you measure them on the side of like a door.
Yeah.
So he'd come in, he'd put their height.
Oh,
their
that's
name,
how
and-
she like.
Yeah,
counts.
it's like, or he put like a little line, like he etched a little like affair in the door, and like it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. He X's it for 5, and it's just all the way to 14. At 14, he was about to put that 15th, that X through the third 5. He's like, I feel horrible.
She
now.
also released it on his birthday. I don't know how he was supposed to feel about that.
They just like, I feel like when you make the song you prove that you're still thinking about it, thus you lose.
Well, Taylor Swift said that she thinks writing a song about it proves that you're done thinking about it because you put it out there.
So then you get to perform it over and over again, thus keep thinking about it.
Very true, Brett.
Like, that doesn't make... I guess at a certain point, if you're a musician, it becomes mechanical. And it's kind of like how they don't like performing. Like, if a song means a lot to you, and then you feel like you trivialize it by having to perform it over and over. Like, a lot of artists hate performing their biggest hits because it becomes so, they just get so the drudgery of it. Like, I guess you could say that Taylor Swift has literally, like, numbed herself by making, like, hundreds of songs that she's just performed so many times. All it is just her, like a robot, reciting the words, and there's not really the emotional connection to them now. But I don't know if I buy that. That's a hard sell for me. Plus, Shakira's still smoking hot. She didn't need to.
She really
She
is.
didn't need to comment. What's the 22-year-old's name? Just for research purposes. I'm purely for research purposes.
For research purposes.
What if she looks exactly like Bianca Censori?
What's
the over-under on whether this marriage is going to last?
Clara Chia.
How do you spell that?
Clara, Clara. Chia, Chia.
And he calls her he calls her his little chia pet.
Chia pet.
Maybe.
No.
Hopefully she doesn't look
Tough
like
crowd here today, ladies
Classic
and gentlemen.
Dasovic, everyone.
Tough crowd here, ladies and gentlemen. Shakira's better looking
I
than
mean,
this lady.
I mean, even if she's better looking than Shakira, it's still Shakira.
Yes.
Like it's Shakira.
I'll take Shakira over this Clara, this chia pet here.
This broad.
well, Piqué didn't, and
It might be a little bit hypocritical of Kanye to get into a relationship so quickly, one as serious as marriage, so quickly with this woman, when his criticism for Kim's relationship with Pete was that it was obviously, going too fast and too far and invading upon his place as a father by like tattooing the initials of the kids and branding her name on his body. Yeah. And, I think just 2 weeks after he had met North for the first time, who is like 13 years old, he had her like sitting on his lap. Like, you're basically still a stranger at that point. He's like sending Kanye a selfie from Kim's bed. Like, all of that was just obviously going way too far and being purposefully antagonistic.
it's all fair game after that.
You would say so?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just...
You can date her sister
it's
after
sad
that.
because there are kids involved,
Yeah. I don't know, man.
And then we have North like dressing up
that's
as Kanye in her bedroom. Like, I don't know. Like cosplaying with her friend as her dad and mom. Like, it's very weird.
Okay, so then if we go, is Kim dating anyone right now?
I
feel like
think so.
So like, if we're to talk about between Kanye and Bianca and Sam Asghari and Britney Spears, which one lasts longer?
I feel like Sam Asghari is gonna stick around.
Yeah, I think
he's in it for the long haul.
Yeah, he's not in the will, or he's not in the.
That's a solid
not
prenup.
will, but there's a prenup that he gets. Plus, but he's already successful. Like, he was a successful dude beforehand. Maybe just likes the chaos. I probably just likes the chaos.
Maybe.
She is every bit as like, she's like, I stick to my principles. Like, every time she does something bonkers, Britney Spears, I'm like, doesn't mean she needs to be under someone else's care, you psychopath. Leave her be. So what if she's talking to herself in the restaurant? Like, it's the
poor lady. She's obviously been like medicated out of her mind.
So you think she's like using stuff now, or it's just like lasting damage from
lasting
antipsychotics or anything like that?
That's exactly what they had her on. I mean, she said that herself.
Yeah, I don't know. Poor Kim. I'm sure but I do want to know whether she actually hated this lady or not. Like, Kanye just has like a list of things that Kim said that he just kept that's like just in case of emergency to really upset his ex-wife, and he just waited for this lady to come out of the woodwork.
In the lockbox.
Yeah, not good. All right, guys, we got this. Dane, how do you feel about people complaining about being a video game streamer and toxic gaming? How do you feel about that?
I am not empathetic with their strife.
Good, you're gonna love this then. Awesome. Streamer Freya Fox gets real on the gaming industry. She says, "Don't pander for inclusivity, but wait, That headline
sounds-
is extremely misleading.
Yeah, it sounds based at first, but
It's not.
here's what she actually had to say. It said, despite what you might have heard from mainstream outlets that female and queer inclusivity in gaming is way better in a culture historically driven by bros, it's not. It's just as toxic as it's always been, going back to when she joined the streaming community in 2014. She said, I would say it's slightly better than when I was growing up playing Call of Duty.
So hard.
Those lobbies were brutal, but I think if you really ask a wide variety of female streamers, especially the people that actually do this for a living, they will tell you that's probably not the case.
The best part is, read the next. The next line is absolutely batshit crazy.
She's been in online multiplayer lobbies for the first-person shooter game Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
No, above
where
that.
the group will hear me talk on mic and they're like, OMG, is that a girl? Kick her out.
Yeah. It was the part above that blew my mind. It says, she doesn't go into too much detail about this. Frankly, we didn't ask because it could unearth past trauma. The trauma of playing video games online with people that are mean to me.
It's traumatic to get kicked out of a CSGO lobby.
Oh my goodness.
My trauma.
How traumatic could it be that a bunch of people said mean things to me on the internet?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I love about this? What I love is I bet that all her stream chat is like, oh my God, Queen, you're the best.
Yeah.
I just can't live without you. And
Where can I send you my life savings?
And there's this one guy that's like, I don't know, she's kind of mid. And she just holds on to that for dear life.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion about her and people like her.
Is there anything that isn't trauma anymore? For like literally,
Cupcakes.
is there anything that isn't trauma? I can't.
It's been the term has been commodified to a point where it obviously means very little. But I think this whole conversation about sexism in gaming and like toxic male gamers, it's been done to death. You're beating a dead horse.
Yep.
Like it doesn't make sense anymore because even female gamers are like, it's not that bad actually.
Yeah.
Like,
well, plus, like,
Unless they're Pokimane.
who?
Pokimane is actually still planning to, send her trolls to jail, to the gulag.
Dude, I'm telling you, Pokimane is like the newest member of the Illuminati. Like she is.
Confirmed.
He said Illuminati.
I told you I was gonna expose the Illuminati
right
next
here
episode.
on Pop
It's
Culture
right now.
Crisis, it is confirmed.
Exposing the Illuminati. Dude, she has all the right opinions. She says it at all the right time. She is the poster child of streaming and gaming. She, every time there's a beef, she makes a 1 second calculation of whether this is good drama for her or bad drama for her. If it's good, she says, well, what about the little Tankses? And she just stays and, people clap and then she leaves. Or if it's going to be absolutely wild, she insta-dips. Like, I have never in my life ever seen a person more PR savvy than her.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, it's a girl, kick her out. It's just 12-year-old boy behavior.
This reminds me of a tweet from Melanie Mack that was actually over the weekend. She said, most girl gamers don't want people to think we're easily offended wusses. We earned our passage. The notion that we are delicate flowers who are constantly offended by smack talk from male peers does not reflect the majority of us.
The funny thing is, this is why cops, like female cops in television shows and strong women characters in the 90s and the 2000s worked, because a lot of times there was like an undercurrent of that type of behavior that's implied about what that character goes through, but you never see it getting to the character, or you see just the right amount of bravado and pushback to say, like, look, you can say this about me, but you're not going to faze me. Instead of making it everything, just like Taylor Swift, instead of just saying your bad behavior isn't going to faze me, I'm just going to break up with you, it becomes about writing a song about it. Now it has to become all that, the entirety of the topic. So you actually do the women a disservice by not allowing them to just be strong enough to handle these environments.
I don't think anyone has a problem with women gaming. Like,
No.
that's the most harmless
According to
thing
the
I can
peripheral.
think of. But all they're asking is, like, don't encroach upon a space that is generally for men to talk smack with each other and expect it to be something else and preempt being victimized there.
Yeah.
Because then it will happen. I mean, this is why bullying is a thing. And I think it's a good thing. I think bullying, cleanses social contagion very efficiently. If you come into a space not understanding the social dynamic of it, you will get trained through bullying how to adapt.
It made me think of what she's kind of talking about here. Reminds me of that video I was watching on Twitter over the weekend about the guy who's backing up from the girl who keeps coming at him, and she's like, she clearly wants to hit him. He's like, don't do it. I don't want to hit you. And a bunch of people just watch while she's advancing on this dude. They don't stop her, because if you stop her, it's a problem. The second you intervene and you put your hands on her to stop her from advancing on this dude, why would you bring that scrutiny upon yourself? But the moment she hits him and he fights back, everyone jumps at the opportunity to gang up on this dude.
I mean, what would really need to happen in that situation is another girl stopping her from aggressing, but they would never do that. I think that video is just like a metaphor for everything that is happening in like this gaming and streaming space right now. It's like you're aggressing, crying out as you strike them. Like
cry bully.
Yeah, that is the cry bully.
And in this space, you open your, you don't get to change the culture to fit your feelings. We do this show. People say good things about us. People say negative things about us. That criticism is criticism we invite by doing this show live on this platform. We understand that it is not something you can escape. You adapt to the situation you're in. It's almost as if they think less of women and think that the women can't handle it, thus they need to change everyone's behavior to cater to them.
That's a good point, because I'm also getting insults while I'm on Xbox Live. Like, no one's safe there.
Yeah.
Everyone is
no one's running to save Dane when he's getting
no one's running to save anyone.
Eviscerated in the chat.
Am I? Everyone's a slur in whatever Xbox chat you are.
Yeah.
And
that's sometimes how you know you're in too.
That is.
You know what I mean? Like, you're like, yeah. Like,
I mean, it's the same thing as hazing, right? Like your value to the group goes up via how much public suffering you do.
Yeah. Like, that's sort of how I knew I was like accepted here, is when he started treating me like crap.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, that was like, it's like playing hockey, playing sports. The things you say to your friends in a locker room are abhorrent and awful and absolutely part of the culture.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I've been called far worse things from my friends in moments where we're getting along perfectly well than I've ever been called by somebody who was mad at me. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's like they want to take an entirely different social dynamic that they don't understand. And instead of changing to match the social dynamic of many, they want the many to change the social dynamic.
Because these people have never had friends. They only have allies.
Yes.
Wow. That's the quote of the day.
Yep. Absolutely.
Wesley's always here just like adding a new layer of intellectualism to Pop Culture Crisis.
Absolutely.
It's from the Butt Chest Club.
Snaps.
Yeah.
I can't
what?
snap,
The Butt
but
Chest
do
Club.
snaps in
What
the
is
chat.
that?
The fuck? It's incredibly kind of presumptuous that you could just get everyone to change their behavior to fit your feelings. It's very strange to me.
Just be one of the bros.
Is it the idea that they don't want to? Yeah. That they want to be able to do what they're doing? It's like, I want to join the team, but I don't want to go to practice. I don't want to actually engage with anyone there, and I don't want to do anything. Just play one-player versions, right?
Maybe you're bringing up a good point. Maybe women can't be one of the bros. Maybe they shouldn't be.
No, you know what I'm saying?
In these spaces at
I
all.
was about to say
No,
please.
The point you were making about women in like strong female characters in the 90s and early 2000s was a representation of girls who were raised with brothers.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's who you marry, brothers. Like, that's who you marry, dude. It's like, because you will not live like this.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
it's a real thing. It's just, and it's girls who had strong dads as well.
Yep.
You have to have both.
Mary's a feminine woman, and me and Brett razz the hell out of her every day, 24/7. And she doesn't bend.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it does. Definitely.
If Mary wants to hurt your feelings, she will absolutely hurt your feelings. It's something you learn to accept. It's part of the job here. In fact, that's how we initiate people. If you want to come on Pop Culture Crisis, you just have to sit there and be insulted by Mary for 10 minutes. We just sit you in a chair. Yeah, we just sit you in a chair, and I just...
He's not joking, guys.
And then I don't think I've been insulted by Mary, huh? Not to my face.
We wiped your memory.
Like it's just part of the thing, and it's just different. It's part of like it wouldn't.
I did
work.
grow up with brothers. I don't know if that's part of
That's
it.
that may be it. Yeah.
Yep. Mary's like, I'm not mean to anyone. What are you talking about? That's
Ha,
not
ha,
true. What was the other thing that it reminded? There's like this story is one of those things where for people who have played sports, maybe it's also because they are alone, and when you play sports and you're in a locker room, you're in an actual physical environment with other people, which might be different than doing so digitally. I don't know. So
What's a Sigma male?
A Sigma.
I never
male.
know. Chat, you'd have to define that. That's a term
It's a pretty
you hear
old
a lot.
meme, though.
Yeah, it's a very old meme, but I don't know how
It's kind of
what
like-
the actual definition is.
Didn't it come from Andrew Tate?
I don't know. They keep saying it.
I mean, that's a very. I
Sigma
sent
male
Lone
I
wolf.
sent,
concept.
I sent Dane a really
lone wolf.
a video this weekend of like it's like a Gen Z funeral.
Oh, that was great.
It's horrible. It's like I know the vibes are low key not bussing in the cemetery here today. No cap.
For real?
But my love for him
Yeah.
will never be capped.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'll have to find that one later. But yeah, somebody in the chat says Matt Gates is a. They're talking separately. I thought they said Matt Gates is a Sigma. Is Matt Gates a Sigma?
It means lone wolf.
Okay.
Apparently.
All right. So
Didn't know that.
Freya will have to just. But the thing is, like, okay, if you're a musician, right, or if you're in any type of media, the same thing goes for authors. You have to learn how to take criticism. It's like nobody wants to be able to do that anymore.
I mean, just look at this person's Instagram page
Yeah.
and the difference between the photos they heavily edit and the candid shots. I mean, kudos for posting both, but like, what delusional fantasy land are you living in?
Yep.
Like, go from that one and just like swipe between the first and the second slide there.
Yeah. They said, what improvements would you like to see the gaming industry make for it to be more welcoming? Because it's not welcoming now, get it? They don't like people. And what do you think the reasons are? I wonder if it has anything to do with inclusion. Let's find out. I would say that a lot of gaming companies are very inclusive with their
It's
new
super
characters,
welcoming.
especially Riot Games has done a really great job with that. Blizzard developers, yeah, but what about Blizzard and all of the crap that went on with Blizzard behind the scenes? Aren't they super bad behind the scenes?
Here's what annoys me. It is super welcoming. It is super diverse. It's just not the way that you want it to be.
It's also funny
know?
too because like we were talking.
You can come here and get the smoke, you know.
When we were skating this weekend, like anytime we go to a skate park and like a skateboarder's nice to me, I long for the old days where everyone was just awful to each other because it was super territorial.
Were they?
And, oh yeah.
Oh.
Like if you went to a skate park between skateboards, rollerblades, and bikes back in the day, on principle, you hated people from the other group. Skateboarders hated rollerbladers. Rollerbladers were kind of
Back when tribalism was harmless.
The redheaded stepchildren of the industry. They got very mad at skating back then because rollerblading blew up very big in like the late 90s and then obviously died out. But in general, the hatred was on principle. It's why it's so funny to look at skateboarding get super woke these days. They're like, we believe in an inclusive sport that loves everyone. Like, yeah, except for you didn't. Like ever until like it became a buzzword in 2014. And like now, like I'm at the skate park and I'll do something, a skateboarder will clap, I'm like, I don't like it. Like,
Do you think there's any
like, could you say
aspect of
something-
that social climate that needed to change even a little bit?
No, I wish it had. Look, these were at the time. These were not commercial sports. These were absolutely. You were seen as an outsider by doing them because you weren't playing team sports. Remember, geek culture wasn't even really a mainstream thing at the time. Back then was when geek culture was actually something you got made fun of by jocks for, and when girls like would not talk to you about. Instead of now, where all the 50-year-old wine-ons pretend that they loved Marvel growing up when they're lying, and all of the jocks who played sports pretend that they loved Marvel and stuff when they were younger. It's why I always talk about, like, look, I liked reading comic books a little bit when I was younger, but I always go out of my way to point out, look, I'm as much of a normie as everyone else. I didn't care what other people did because I understood what it was like to be judged harshly based on something you chose to like. But I miss the days when, I'm just like, somebody's like really nice to me, like, it's nicer when you used to make fun of me and yell at me so that I could make fun of you and call you names back because that was our thing. Now everyone's like, oh, dude, that was great. I'm like, ugh.
I often say that the measure of a good male friend is if you can make jokes about their mother and their sister.
There you go.
Because it's to the normal man, it's so insulting if you're just some random dude talking about my mom or my sister or whatever. But when you're with a friend and you're just making those like absolutely absurd jokes, it's like, oh, we're bros. Yeah. Like this guy, we go to war together, you know.
Dull Click says BMX were friends with the skaters. That was that was a regional thing. I definitely saw
turf wars.
I definitely saw no, because the thing was people like skateboarders and bladers didn't like that BMXers would destroy coping because the pegs were very harsh on the metal at skate parks. So people would get angry when they would clamp down hard on coping when doing tricks. So look, I enjoyed it because it felt more authentic, right? Like there was absolutely cultural programming there, meaning in the magazines and in the videos, you were encouraged by these companies as part of the culture to dislike the other sport on principle. Was that a good thing? No. Societally, it wasn't a good thing, but I long for the old days once in a while. Like you said, when maybe tribalism wasn't harmless, but it certainly taught you to stand up for yourself.
There was reasons for it, as you said.
Yeah.
There were reasons that they felt that way, and a lot of time it was, even though it was like crappy, there was some authenticity behind it, where now the whole idea of what you said, where everybody likes things,
still feel that way.
It's fake, it's manufactured, and you could feel it. That's why everybody's miserable all the time.
Maybe we should have found ourselves somewhere to the middle, like instead of like being mean and like everyone attacking each other at the skate park and everyone going, oh my god, that was so great, when you don't mean it. We should have just settled for like benign indifference where everyone just ignores everyone else. Yes? No?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
No, I agree with you. I had the same experience with you. Like I was a theater kid, right? Like
same.
In high school, and so like I was really into like recreating costume and things. This was before cosplay was a thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to make these things for movies that I like. And then like I got over it really fast. I was like, this is actually really hard, and I'm bad at things, so I'm done. But then like 7 years later or so, like Instagram happened, and it hurts because the people that are like cosplayers or things, for the most part, are so inauthentic. It's just like this girl with the gaming thing. It's like not because they complain about the community. They complain about how people they'll have one comment, like you said, like everybody loves them. And there's one that's like, oh, this isn't my favorite, and they're like,
now everyone,
they're rich. They don't have a job. This is what they do, but they blame the community for that one problem.
Who's probably being sarcastic.
Probably, yeah. Or it's just one person who's like, I bet I could ruin this person's day.
You give them power by letting them do that.
Yes.
Like that's like, and it's hard.
It's just another type of capital that these people are masters.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't need this. Like even if she thinks she does, she doesn't. She knows that like, okay, this is my next play. Like I'm going to say this and that's going to boom. And then the analytics here are going to go. Yeah. They know what they're doing. They're shit pieces.
It's funny too because to me it's like sometimes we get plenty of negative comments, but I like it when it's like a really good one. Like I can at least appreciate the creativity, like, or if it's like beyond just like if you actually critique what we're talking about cleverly, I can appreciate that. When you just go with like blind insults, that's like at least put some effort
unless they're
into
good, yeah. I like the good ones.
Do you have an example of a?
Not one that I'm at liberty to say. I say one of our coworkers gets a lot of online hate, and this person read one to me, and we both just laughed. It was so brutal. Yeah. It was such a vicious, like, physical attack, and we're like, that's very good. That's actually pretty brilliant.
Yeah, it is what it is. We got some Superchats there.
My thing is, I want to talk mess back.
But you're not allowed now.
Yeah, because
you'll get banned.
But I'm from that culture where it's like, oh, really? Like, it's an invitation for me to be toxic now. Yeah. And I hate not being able to say stuff back.
It's amazing how that works, right? Like why people would feel upset when one person's allowed to be mean and the other person isn't, and then you wonder why people get angry.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Bobcat said Wesley is crushing it.
Yes.
Thank Usually you, Matt said,
Mr.
what
Robert
kind of
Cat.
music do you think Sith Lords like?
What
kind of music do you think Sith Lords like?
Oh, rhythm.
Dubstep.
Good Charlotte.
Dubstep. Because every time they're about to shoot someone, it goes brah, and then their aim goes off and they miss.
I think Good Charlotte because they're bad people.
Okay.
Are they bad people?
I don't know. I'm just Sith, right?
Well, okay. What would if you could imagine?
Good Charlotte.
If you could imagine
Hard House. Yeah. They like Hard House.
Hard House?
Yeah, Hard House music. Like
that's why
or like super underground industrial.
I guess I'm a Sith Lord.
It's like I'm down.
Big Dave sent 99 cents without a message.
Thank you, Big Dave.
Classic Big Dave.
VS said younger generations have grown up in a self-absorbed social media culture, so they're focused on getting attention in any way possible. It's easiest to get attention as a victim and cry loudly than be an adult.
I laugh now anytime I see an old TV storyline and someone's like, I don't want to be seen as a victim. I'm like, oh, this is an old story. Yeah. Holy crap. You remember that? Back in the day when someone's like, I don't want to be seen as a victim. I'm too strong for that. I'm like, now everyone's like, I can't wait to be seen as a victim. This is going to rule.
In 2020, to support that comment, in 2020, the #1 toy from ToysRUs.com, which was still operating as a website, was the Young Influencer Starter Kit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That's scary.
What is in the Young Influencer Starter Kit?
Ring light, camera that looks like a cell phone, and I can't remember. There's like 3 other things, but I was
What else would come in the Young Influencer Starter Kit? Like a kit so you can get the fade haircut. So you can get
headphones with cat ears.
No.
That comment reminds me of a Joe Rogan podcast where there was a person that was saying that Gen Z, they were all raised by nannies, and so they didn't have like that tact and eye-to-eye contact with their mothers that other generations had, and that will lead to a certain amount of results. And I'm wondering if this is it.
Yeah.
But and I
were
wonder,
they raised by nannies or were they raised by a state-run institution?
Daycare.
Yeah, daycare.
I think it's more that
Kindercare.
Self-absorbed children are raised by self-absorbed parents.
Yes.
Generally.
Yeah.
And if you're raised by someone who's self-absorbed and not interested in you, then you will do anything for someone to be interested in you and think that you're special.
There was a video over the weekend of a lady with her it's a young child with her mom, and she's like, repeat after me, daddies always leave but mommy always stays.
No way.
And I watched it, and I was how I
That's
tell
child
you,
abuse.
like every time I see there's certain things that I watch every day where I'm like, that's enough internet for me today.
Yeah.
That was that one I had to call it a day.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just so like, it's not even just doing that, but it's the idea that you did it and posted it for clout.
Dude, I mean,
Like that's an example of the selfish parent who doesn't understand the damage they're doing to their child.
I'm about to close the computer after that. That was horrible.
James Orenthal Wen said, big up to Midwest for schooling my kids about Warroad, Minnesota at Freedom Plaza. Appreciate you chatting with us. Also, my daughter Lola was sad that Queen Maymay, aka Mary, didn't show. I'm sorry, I didn't plan on showing, but if there's a next time, I definitely will be there.
Yeah, we talked Warroad. Warroad is it's basically a hockey factory. It just churns out incredible hockey players. The city of Warroad, Minnesota. Also the coolest name for a city in the world.
Warroad?
Warroad.
It's pretty cool.
It's a freaking cool name.
I like Sleepy Hollow better.
Well, I mean, now that that's a movie, that's an actual town though, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Sleepy
Yeah,
Hollow.
it's like Tarrytown, New York.
Maybe Danger Zone.
I love
from
Falls
the song.
Church. I love the name Falls Church. I don't know why. But yeah, it was really great to meet you, man. That was a lot of fun. It was a very interesting experience to like. I've talked a lot about how like my worlds are kept very separate. Like my skating is kept very separate from my work. So it was kind of like this weird like multiverse paradox where everything like crashed into each other. Because like my skating world collided with my work world.
Then you were like, "That's it. I'm making a Twitter account."
That basically, yeah, basically, I was like, where can like, okay, if the Instagram is for skating and the YouTube channel is for work, Twitter can be a crazy amalgamation between the two.
For hate speech.
I'm not look, guys. You guys can
No,
hold me
Dane.
to it. I'm going to try to keep my Twitter 75.8 to 82.9% positive all the time.
It's very specific.
Like the idea here is like, look, I almost made a comment yesterday when we were talking about when I was watching The Last of Us, and I was like, I wanted to make like a tweet about like props to whoever the makeup artist was that managed to make the gorgeous Anna Torv just look like a total train wreck, because they do, and it's part of the story, but it still comes off as snarky and rude. But the idea here is they did an excellent job making everyone look busted, as you would when going through what happens in the story.
I
of The
almost
Last
thought
of
you were
Us.
gonna say they make everyone look bussin'.
They make everyone look bussin'.
I love that.
So I intend to keep my Twitter mostly positive while talking about old TV shows that literally no one is watching anymore but me.
Bad app. I'm not reading that.
I figured not.
Corn Pop said, "Mary, will you marry me?"
With 2 X.
You kind of disturb me, so no.
See, you don't want to like Mary will just hit you with the lines every now and then. All right.
I think that's it.
All right, guys. Dane, my friend, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let everyone know where they can find you and give another recommendation for Puss in Boots.
Dude, find me in the theaters watching Puss in Boots again. A cinematic masterpiece. And thank you for the recommendation because it was a great date night movie.
See?
And
I have recommendations
if
sometimes.
you want to coerce Brett into hate speech on Twitter with me, you can follow me at Dane Font, and I shall spell that out for you now. DANEFONT.
Perfect.
Thank
Wesley, my friend, where can they find you?
You can find me on Cast Castle.
Yep. Perfect.
New episode
That's
tomorrow
it.
night at 7.
That's Mary.
You can find pictures of me on Instagram at Mary Archived, and you can send me hate on Twitter. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button? And I'm going to close out this poll to see what is going on here. And it is 52% say that we should review both, Mary.
Okay,
So,
we'll do it.
We will be reviewing.
Podcast of the people,
It-
okay?
we
We do
are.
what you want.
Guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, now that this show is done, we have put up a review for The Last of Us Episode 1. It is up right now on this YouTube channel. Go check it out. Before you go, would you like this video? Would you leave comments on this video? Would you subscribe to our channel if you have not subscribed already? There's one more super chat there, Mary. Would you read it?
Elaine sent us a thumbs up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it so much for everything, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and now on Twitter at Brett Dasovic. Follow me there.
Legendary.
You can follow me there to follow just tons of wholesome tweets. But I think yesterday I was talking about how I wish I could have Damian Lewis's resting facial expressions because he acts very, very well without doing much acting at all. I keep it wholesome over there on Twitter. For the show, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. What's up?
We got another super chat.
Let's go for
High
it.
Voltage 75 said 1 hour hostage party round 2. Let's go.
Dude, if you guys want to do a hostage party right now, you better get those in quick because I am reaching.
We are about to
I am
close
about
out.
to close out. So if you want, and
I love
trust me,
hostage parties. It's like, oh no, you're
Dude.
gonna send us more super chats.
You guys
That
do not
sucks.
you guys do not understand that you did not just hold us hostage. You held Zernu hostage, and she didn't think the show was going to go for 3 hours.
No, she did not. We didn't either.
Yeah,
but
like-
yeah, I mean, thanks. I guess that was pretty cool of you guys.
When we got done, I literally slumped over in my chair. I'm like, ugh. I'm
Yeah,
exhausted.
that was just
So-
one of those shows.
Yes,
it
it was-
hits you pretty hard when you go for 3 hours.
All right, guys. So, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you want to listen rather than watch, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts,
Oh, wow.
Pandora, and Spotify. Mary, we got one more.
We have one from Airtez 00. He said fine.
That's
Sent a big super chat. Thank you for that.
And now look, like we're actually close to like a second crisis party now.
Okay, but we're not close enough.
No, we're not close enough. We're like, no, almost. So, guys, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you'd like to listen rather than watch, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. Excuse me. Couldn't get through it without that one. I know. I apologize. What is it now? We're doing it. Social media. Twitter at popculture_show, where I will then link to the Twitter from my Twitter. It's a lot of fun. Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis. There's one more from.
Oh,
There it is.
I don't see
Kyle
it. Okay.
Flores.
Kyle Flowers said thanks for the show, guys. You're welcome.
Dude, we're so close now. One
Are you
more.
okay, Brett?
Yes.
You're like
I'm good.
dying over
we got
there.
2 more.
By the way, the Instagram is Pop Culture Crisis Pod.
I hadn't gotten to that one
You didn't
yet.
mention that one. No. Linda T said you must stay.
Yep.
And Shimmy Shelley said take that.
And now
We have reached 2 crisis parties, but now it's just down to the timer.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hang out now. So I could just.
we can just like sit here.
do the outro.
know.
Shout out to Brendan Fletcher, who is in The Last of Us.
Any last words, guys?
He's a great actor. He doesn't get a lot of recognition.
What was he in the show?
In the show, he was the person that was afraid that he was going to get beat up by Joel for beating up Anna Torv.
Oh, okay.
I love that guy. He's
Yeah,
in a lot of
do
like.
you know
little-
him?
No. But he's
just
in like a
an
lot of little
actor.
projects that I always appreciate him.
Is the game worth it?
Huh? The game? Yeah.
I have a free copy of it. I've never played it.
Yeah,
Just
great.
not the second one. The Last of Us 2 was awful.
No, I've heard about the second
Corn
one.
I
Pop,
like
you
the
have to
second
wait.
one
Corn Pop, the party is on a timer. So once you reach the crisis party, it goes off after a certain period of time. So we're gonna hang out.
Yeah.
We're gonna, because I think there was a couple weeks ago we got one that was like right as we went off the air. So we actually had to I had to do a second party the next day, like an early one, because that one got cut off before we ended the show.
You get what you pay for.
I want one of the days for the crisis party to be
Yeah.
my girl wants to party all the time.
Oh, guys. Oh, yeah. Also, guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you can send me suggestions.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
It's alarming.
It's like a jump scare. It's not even Halloween.
I think, at some point, we need to get 4D chairs. That,
Moving you around like this, dude. I am so down. Literally, you should have seen it on Sunday. I'm making this and I'm giggling. I'm click,
Laughing
move.
maniacally.
Here goes the dissolve. Here goes that. I love Bruce Willis. Yeah, that's all going on.
We've got more
there's
super chats to
Yep,
read out.
go
1000
for it.
Foot Deep End said #crisis party.
Yes.
Bobcat said coughcast redux.
Yeah, that was mine is not quite as severe, and I have not lost my voice yet. Guys, did you know? Here was my thought. I thought because when Tim originally advertised that they were doing the thing at Freedom Plaza, he's we're going out on Saturday, and at that time the temperature was supposed to be 55 degrees. Mm-hmm. So what I thought he was doing. This is my conspiracy theory, that obviously didn't turn out to be true. I was maybe he's laying the cough in early the day before so that when he cancels, he can be well, I was sick. Kind of like you lay the cough in the day before at work. That way you can call in sick the next day. But no, boss man just worked right through it. His voice was going on Saturday too.
He just hosted a super spreader.
Spreader cast.
Yeah.
Ah!
Joel D. Valdez said crisis party for Mary. Thank
Yes.
you. Porco Rosso Forever said we meme reviewing soon.
Dane, thoughts? Meme review?
Thoughts
soon?
on a meme review?
Maybe next week?
Let's
yeah,
do it.
maybe
Yeah.
next week we'll do it.
Should we
And
just-
I'll expose the Illuminati next
It's a relevant
week.
time to
Next
say
week.
go to our subreddit for Pop Culture Crisis. If you have any memes that you would like us to review, we're going to react to the best ones after we, curate a nice list of the high quality memes.
Look, that's kind of necessary now because when we were watching that cringe today, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
That one definitely made me cringe.
I gotta see a Latin one.
A Latin.
A Latin meme.
I make it.
I don't know if the word Latin exists outside of that article.
Well, it's
I hope
gonna
it
now.
doesn't.
Find a picture of a latrine and just write Latin.
It's
Latin
really
over
insulting.
It is very insulting.
Cody McNutt said, ITT, we force them to stay. I still forget what ITT means.
I don't-
I
Oh,
think
in
that
this thread,
In this thread,
I think
right?
that.
I
Yeah,
think
it
that
was-
or in this thread.
it was of
I
all
don't,
the
now I don't know.
of all the people to correct us on this, it was Phil Labonte, who's a Gen Xer.
Yeah, how
who's
does he know?
He's how do I? Yeah, that's what Mary asked. She's how do you know what this is? He's
Oh my God, you had a Gen Xer on the show? Did you just lose your mind?
dude, that was one of my
was a
first.
fun show.
One of my first tweets was that I mentioned that every time I watch Donald Logue act, I feel like I'm watching a large amalgamation of all aspects of Gen X coalesce together into one individual actor, and then I like it.
Yeah.
He is. He's and he is because I didn't know Gen X ended at 81. Apparently, it's 65 to 81.
Huh.
I thought it ended at, or it began at 64.
According to
So
where
this
I
is
looked, it
64
started at 65 to 81. Something
Okay.
like that. So, is there a couple more there?
One more, High Voltage 75 said, Mary, have you seen the Queen Mary?
Have you?
Like the boat?
The boat. Yeah.
Both?
I think that's in LA, isn't it? I've never seen it, no.
The other thing that's,
haunted.
Yeah, supposedly haunted.
one of my favorite, like you mentioned earlier when you were talking about how they over-sexualized the characters in the Gotham Knights trailer. By the way, in the chat, I was referencing the fact that I was talking about the TV show, and obviously we weren't talking about the game. The point was to differentiate the two. And I was thinking back to the fact that that's how the CW has always been. There's a Mary Queen of Scots show called Reign on the CW that it was horrible and I loved it. It was awful.
I love that.
It was great. But they make her it's this actress who's just stunning. Her name's Adelaide Kane, and they make her look like a hooker. on the Photoshop on the cover makes her face look like a hooker. It's freaking awesome. So back in the day, it worked. Back in the day, it was good.
She looks like a hooker. It's awesome.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thank you so much again for joining us. I've given all the social medias. Have we done everything else? I think we've gone through.
I think we have. Now this is kind of awkward. Like, what do we outro with?
Oh,
but
yeah.
bye,
I didn't do the Instagram, but you did the Instagram.
Yeah, we're all covered there.
All right, guys. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Later.